And we are live, guys. This has been a very busy week for a lot of people, and some of my regular members, some of them couldn't be here. We have some, but we don't have them all. But we do have, some guests coming on. Okay, one's trying to get in. But anyway, we're going to do this anyway because no matter what I put on there, my podcast always soars because I always got good people with good information. So we're just going to keep it moving. Okay. Now, we had some big games releases, some weird weather. Anyway, I'm the Titanfall Princess, and this is the Irish podcast. But enough about me. I want the panel to introduce themselves and tell us what they've been playing. Okay. So, go ahead, Demetrius. Take it away.
Hey, how you doing, YouTube? This is Lords of Eclipse coming at you guys with this great podcast for today. At the moment, I'm still playing Infinite Warfare. I can't get enough of Call of Duty. Right now, I'm just playing zombies because apparently get more crypto keys playing zombies. So I'm just playing that out. But sooner or later, I'm gonna get back on PlayStation so I can get back on Horizon Zero Dawn. So hopefully, have a good podcast today.
Okay. Thank you for that. Seventh, introduce yourself.
Gaze upon me and tremble, for I am seventh, and you are not. I haven't been playing much lately. I have been playing neirautomata, which came in the mail 2 days late, but I got it nonetheless. That's been pretty much it. Oh, and I had somebody send me a PSN code, and I ended up getting the what's it called? The Incredible Adventures of Van Helsing, I think.
Okay.
Kind of a Diablo clone. It's pretty interesting.
Well, that was nice of him to do that. Yeah, that was nice. Okay,
well, and then we got somebody to buy me Nier Automata too.
Oh, that was very nice.
Yes, it was.
You got some nice people. You got some nice people.
Very generous souls in my life lately.
Yeah. Well, you went through a lot. And people in gaming should stick together when people go through shit. I mean, come on. It's just what it is. If you can help somebody out, you just do it. Right. You can't. But if you can, show some love in the gaming community. That's all I'm saying. Rambo is trying to get in. I know I know he's busy and he's on the road. He's trying to get in, so hopefully he'll join us. But then we have one guest tonight. We have Jordan Dizzle. Introduce yourself and tell everybody what you've been playing.
All right. I'm Jordan Ninja Dizzle, and I have been playing this game. Right here, Pokemon Moon. Great game, by the way. So, yeah.
Okay. Before we get into all the topics, I just want to say something to those people that are listening, because I know there are people that are listening when they say they don't listen to my podcast, but they do. And this is for you guys, okay? First of all, y'all know I don't do that YouTube beef shit no more. I'm doing my backward responses like I did when I first started. First of all, I grew up in the YouTube scene, okay? So just get that straight. But I was sent 2 videos by someone this past week, and I just think it's pathetic when someone lies about what somebody said and didn't say, just to get views and buzz and trying to get a response video out of me, which people, it's not going to happen. Y'all know who you are, okay? And you made it obvious that you watched my podcast because you told me some things that were going on my podcast with guests, what I did, what they said. So it's obvious you watched my stuff. But, oh well, because I don't watch your podcasts and I don't view your channels. I'm not sub to you people. So whatever. I don't know why you want to start a beef with me when I'm just playing games and talking gaming news and things of that nature. I'm not mentioning your name. But anywho, okay, anytime any of you have something to say, okay, you well, and say that I said something or did something, you're well to get me on air and I'll do a debate with you and prove you wrong. And with that being said, we're going to keep it moving because we've got an awesome podcast to do and you ain't worth my time. So let's keep it moving. Now, first topic, which is something Seventh actually brought up. Nier Automata launched this week. Okay, it got some really good reviews. Unfortunately, I currently do not have it yet because I want to finish Horizon Zero Dawn. But I'm definitely getting the game. Based on what I saw so far, it looks like a fun game. And I want to see if anybody's got any thoughts on it. I know Seventh, like you said, you got it. You were able to get it, and you played a little bit of it. What are your thoughts on the game? What you played so far?
It's an interesting mix. Best way I could describe it would be that it's if you took Bayonetta and you gave it a little bit more of a bleak look, less colorful, made it into a open world RPG, threw in some dodge and parry mechanics out of Bloodborne, and then added an additional attack mechanic on it where at any point you can basically go from third person Devil May Cry style action to twin stick shooter. That's pretty much what it is. It's kind of hard to describe it unless you've actually played it. I mean, for 1 minute you're running around Devil May Cry style, jumping in the air, doing air combos and all this shit, and then the next minute you switch over to you just hold down one of the triggers, and this little robot that follows you around starts firing Gatling gun or whatever you have equipped to it, and you can steer that around like a twin stick shooter. So you're running around doing almost like playing Smash TV or something like that, you know. So it's kind of weird, but once you get used to it, you can kind of slip right in and out of that. So you're running up and doing air combos and juggling combos, and then you hit the ground, turn around, and all of a sudden it's Smash TV, twin stick shooting and blowing up guys that are trying to spawn around you. So it's an interesting dichotomy of gaming play styles. It's only in Japan. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Only
but you know
in
it's
Japan.
crazy because what you say and all the games you were naming, those are games that I like. So to take like a little style from each one and throw it into a mix, it's very interesting.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Okay. Does anybody else on the podcast tonight? Do any of you have the game, or do you have anything else to add besides about the game? I know, Jordan, you said you want to get it, so you don't have the game yet.
No, I don't even have a PS4 yet.
Oh, okay. I thought you had a PS4 already. Okay.
Yeah,
I know you said you were working on it. I thought you had gotten it already. Okay.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
Okay. What about you, Demetrius?
I've been
What are your
watching.
thoughts on that game?
It looks very beautiful. I can tell you that much now. Playing on the 4K TV, it's outstanding. Like I said, I haven't even touched it yet. My girl's been playing it the most because I usually just let her, take away with the stuff first, and then I like I said, I've been playing a lot of Call of Duty lately. So I just been on my Xbox One a little bit more because that's why I prefer to play Call of Duty on. Like I said, once I get a little bit bored of COD, then I'm going back on my PlayStation, but I'm gonna let my girl have this PS4, then I'm just gonna get another one. But so far from what I've seen, it is drop dead gorgeous. I love the scenery, I love the robots, I love everything about it. Like I said, it reminds me of Tomb Raider, so it's very nice. Has a hint of Uncharted here and there. Has a lot of Tomb Raider stuff in it. I really like it, and I hope sooner or later I'll be able to play it. Once my girl gets done beating it, then I'll.
We're talking about Nier and not Horizon, right?
Oh, my fault.
Yeah, we're
My
talking
fault.
Nier Automata.
Oh, I thought we were talking about Horizon. Sorry,
No.
sorry. I thought you were talking
Nier
about
Automata.
Horizon. Sorry.
You
What?
threw me. You threw me for
Yeah,
a second.
I know.
Then
I
when
was-
you
I was
mentioned
thinking-
Uncharted, I'm like, what the hell?
I was thinking it too. I was like, wait a second.
Wait, my fault. I thought you guys. Sorry about that. I don't have you guys turned up all the way. I thought you guys said
Oh.
Horizon. I'm so sorry about that.
No. We're talking about like Seven said. We're talking about Nier
Nier-
Automata.
Near
Yeah.
Automata. Okay. I watched a little bit of. Okay. Sorry about everyone in the podcast. That's in the comments laughing at me. Probably say, what the hell is he talking about? Horizon. But anyways, for a quick summary of Horizon, everyone, if you haven't played Horizon, it's a great game. Go get it. But Near Automata, I watched a little bit of Seventh play it. It looks really nice. It looks like something I would actually play. How long would I play it? Don't know, but I think I would actually grab that game. How much is it? Is it 60 or the full, or is it like $39.99 or
No,
how much is it?
It's full price.
Full price? Okay, yeah, I might scoop it up. I actually might look up some more information about Nier and then probably play it.
Now, I will say this, for those of you who were fans of the original game on the 360 or the PS3, you're probably going to be in for a bit of a shock because it doesn't really play a hell of a whole lot like either version. Because the 360 version and the PS3 version were a little bit different, and it doesn't play like those. And in fact, so far as I can tell, it's the only thing that it has in common with the original game is its name and the fact that it has kind of a muted color palette. Because otherwise, it's a really different kind of experience. It feels a lot different than the first one, and so far, I haven't found any real what you would call solid story links between it and the first one either.
Oh wow. Okay. But you know what? The thing is, they're still bringing us something different.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the game. So far.
It's just not a big link.
I mean, once you get used to it, once you get accustomed to the way that it plays, and you get into that flow, it's one of those kind of games where it's kind of hard to put it down once you get started. But yeah, I mean, if you were a fan of the older games, it's quite a bit different.
Okay. Just to let you guys in the chat know, and the members, on the podcast tonight, I'm actually winging some of this because it was been a very busy week, so I really didn't get a whole thing. I got like 2 or 3 more things little that I want to talk about. But if somebody's got some bit of news that I may have left out or forgot about, and when we go through these, if you guys want to talk about it, please bring it up. You're more than welcome, and open the floor a little bit. Okay. Well, we're gonna move on to the next one that was on my mind, which was what's it called? Shadows of War, which is the sequel of Shadows of War gameplay, which was shown off. Okay.
Yeah, hell yeah, I love that game.
And to me, the game looks really good. Okay.
Oh yeah,
I love the first one. So
yeah, okay. It's a day one buy for me. I'm gonna say that right now. Now, the only problem I have about this, because unfortunately I have to go back to these people that misinform people on YouTube, okay? The problem I have is the Xbox gamers that are extremists are hiding behind this game when it's not even an exclusive game. The game will also be on PlayStation 4 and PC, people.
Yep.
And you know what I'm saying? So what do you guys think about people the Xbox people who, are damage control? Now, talk about the game as well, but also within that, what do you think about these people trying to hide behind Shadows of War as a selling point for the Xbox Scorpio when it's not an exclusive?
I think it's a bunch of crap.
Huh?
It's a bunch of crap. Like, I mean, come on. Like, it's a multiplat. Yeah, yes, multiplats do good on Xbox, but as a selling point, nah, no. Y'all, the only selling point that I think it would have is Halo, Forza, and Gears. That's it. Like, that's their top hitters. Like, multiplats do all right on it, but I mean, it's not gonna do as big as they thinking. You know what I'm saying?
right.
But my thought is, why are they using it as a selling point when it's a multiplat?
You know why? Nancy, I had to cut you off. I believe the reason why they're doing this is because I've heard a lot of Xbox guys on my Twitter feed and telling me that, especially at work, they were saying that the Scorpio is supposed to really like show the actual graphical things about it. One of my friends was talking about, oh yeah, it's supposed to look so much better than the goddamn PS4 Pro, and it's supposed to do this. It's supposed to have a higher frame rate. It's supposed to be like so-called like flagship. You know what I'm saying?
Demetrius, you just said one thing. I'm gonna let you continue after that. You said one thing. Supposed to have this.
Right.
Stop basing things on supposed tos without having the facts.
Yeah.
That's my issue. Show me this game being played on a Scorpio full power, a Pro on full power, and if you want, show me the PC version on full power. I don't really care. I'll look at all three of them and compare them all. And I'm gonna tell you something. If even if not saying it's going to, But people say I hate PC people. No, I don't. I hate the extremists and those people call themselves elitist and all that other crap. But just like I hate the fanboys that do their shit on Xbox and PlayStation, I don't like any of them. But if it looked better on PC, I'm gonna have to say, well, why does it look better on on PC and not on my either one of my consoles? You know, I will ask those questions, but you gotta. I mean, you can't hide it. There are some games that look better on one console over the other. It's just gonna happen.
Yeah.
I can.
Well, you never know. Like that game may look better on the Scorpio because apparently Scorpio is supposed to have a better processing power. So, in my thinking, as far as
but you keep using that word, Demetrius, supposedly.
That's
They're
why
not
I'm
even
going.
showing us a game.
I know that. I
That's
know.
why-
That's why I'm going supposedly.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's a fact. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? I'm just saying supposed because, like I said, if it, I'm getting a Scorpio because, like I said, I'm a multi-console owner. And if it's supposed to look better, if it's supposed to, like I said, keyword suppose, if it's supposed to look better for the fucking Xbox fanboys out there, if it's supposed to look better on the Scorpio, then yeah, I might go ahead and scoop it up on the Scorpio. I had Mordor. Oh, sorry.
But they can't use it as a selling point, like it's an exclusive.
Yeah, you can't. That's full of shit, man.
Do that. And you know what? If they want to use it as a selling point, this is the only way I can see them doing that. Microsoft has got to show us the power of that console by showing us gameplay on that console and then comparing it to, and then what you do is you have them do it. Then you have Sony people, not an Xbox person that's biased for Microsoft, have a Sony person put up their stuff and then make a comparison between the two. Then you'll know which one looks better and which one doesn't.
Right.
See, me personally, I will get a game and play it on both consoles and I'll tell the truth.
Yeah. And all these Xbox dudes that kept saying, oh, the Xbox Scorpio is going to be powerful than the PC. I'm like, what the heck? It's like, how you going to top the PC, which is always upgrading itself, like the software? Like, we don't even know what the GPU, the CPU, how many frames per second it runs. Like, we don't know that crap. It's like it hasn't been revealed yet, and they're still bragging about the Scorpio when they don't know jack shit on what teraflops mean.
Exactly. Hello? You had to go there, Jordan, right? I mean, that was months ago. You had to go to teraflops, didn't you?
Yeah, I had to.
He's not lying though.
He's not.
I'm not.
Hello.
Hey, what's up, Puerto Rock?
What's going on? What's going on?
Oh, Puerto Rico made it. What's up?
Yes. I was able to escape my project.
Oh shit. Do your intro, Puerto Rock.
What's going on, people? It's your boy Puerto Rock 77. I'm here to support my homegirl princess. Everybody, hey, it's good to see you all, man. Sorry I'm late. Well, I didn't think I was gonna have time to come on this show, but I'm glad I did.
That's all right. Well, I send you the link anyway because you always told me that with the projects you're working on.
Yeah, just
Maybe
always
a couple months. Just send it to you, and if you jump in, you jump in. Just so you know, we have a special guest on our podcast tonight. We got Jordan Dizzle tonight.
Nice to meet you, Jordan. What's going on?
Nice to meet you too, man. I'm doing fine, man. I love to expose fanboys a lot because they're retarded. They are so retarded that they think their logic is backwards.
Well, then you're gonna love what I have to say about this topic.
The only thing I'm a fanboy of is, man, I'm a fanboy of the color purple and the fucking pink. I'm a fanboy.
You know what I'm a fangirl of? Gaming.
Yeah.
That's what I am.
Oh, that
anyway,
too.
We're gonna
and donkey ass.
Oh shit.
Hey, that's supposed to have been the secret.
we're gonna let Seventh take it away because he was up next, and then Puerto Rock. What we're talking about right now is the Shadow of Wars, the sequel to Shadow of Mordors that gameplay was shown off. But the other thing we were talking about is first of all, what you think about the game. So think about that when Seven talks, but also about how Xbox. The problem that I had with it was that Xbox gamers are hiding behind this game when it's not an exclusive game and using it as a selling point for the Xbox Scorpio.
All right, I got it. I was listening.
Okay. Oh, you are. Okay. Go ahead,
I was
Seven. Take
here
it
in
away.
spirit.
All right. Well, Princess and Porter Rock, nice to have you here, and Jordan and Donkey Fucker. Do you want to really know why they're doing what they're doing with this game? Because if you've been in the community as long as I have, it's not that hard to figure out. It's a little thing called exclusive envy. And this is, if you look back in through the history, especially when they started getting their ass kicked by the PS4, what you'll notice is that this is behavior that they revert to when Sony comes out with a new big hit and they don't have anything comparable to be able to say that they have something that can stand up against it. So they'll grab a hold of a third-party exclusive or just a regular third-party multiplat and say, "Oh, we don't need that game. We've got this." So what they're doing right now is they're ass hurt because they don't have Neo, they don't have Horizon, they don't have Nier, and especially Horizon. So they're looking at Horizon, which is an open world action RPG with stealth elements. And here comes this trailer for a sequel to Shadow of Mordor, an open world action RPG with stealth elements. And they're like, we don't need Horizon. We've got, this sequel to Shadow of Mordor coming out. Just like when everyone started going nuts for the trailers for Uncharted 4. They're, Uncharted 4, Uncharted Schmore. We got Rise of the Tomb Raider coming. It's what they do. It's what they do. And it's even worse now because now they don't even have exclusives to be able to point at or even timed third-party exclusives like Rise of the Tomb Raider was. So all they can point at is multi-plats. Because, they tried to do it with Nier. They're like, Nier, Platinum. We got our own Platinum game, Scalebound. Oops.
No, it has been canceled.
But Seven, what I'm saying is, how can they use this as a selling point for the Xbox Scorpio when we haven't seen what the supposed power is of the Scorpio? How can they use it as a selling point for that console?
Well, how are they going to be using their supposedly exclusive lineups to push the Xbox One when they were trying to deny what we had gotten from leaked specs that was going to be underpowered compared to the PS4. But they were still saying, well, we're going to have Halo and we're going to have this and we're going to have that. And a lot of those have either ended up being disappointments or have gone the way of the dodo. I mean, look at Fable. Not only did they not get a real Fable sequel, but the Fable they did got shit canned before it ever saw the light of day.
Good point. Excellent point.
It's just the same. It's just the same damage control sidestepping shit they've been doing since 2013. This isn't going to change anything. As far as trying to use it to push the Scorpio, a lot of them are looking at the Scorpio like it's the last saving grace of the Xbox marketplace.
It's like it's like the new coming. It's the new coming. It's the new coming. It's going to part the seas again. Come on now.
It doesn't matter that we couldn't give away Xbox Ones. The Xbox Scorpio shall save us all. If they're not going to buy an Xbox One for a cheap price, what makes you think that people are going to show up by the truckloads to buy a more expensive one that just gives you the same games but with a better frame rate and marginally better textures on 4K? Because let me tell you something, the average person out there, not technophiles like us, but the average person out there, they look at 1080p and they look at 4K, they can't even tell the difference.
You're absolutely right. You are absolutely right.
So when Joe Blow goes walking in there, he doesn't have either system. He doesn't have anything. He's looking to buy something late in the gen. He goes and he looks at these and he sees the prices and he can't tell the difference between what he sees on the whatever they want to call it, the Xbox One Pro or whatever, and the PS4 Pro. PS4 Pro is cheaper. PS4 Pro has the same games the Xbox One Pro has, plus the PS4 Pro has all these exclusive games that the Xbox One Pro does not have.
They're gonna go with the wallet says.
What do you think is going to matter to them? Price and number of games for it.
Yep.
It doesn't matter how powerful the system is. It's whether or not there's enough games on the system to really use that power to any great degree. There's only been a couple of times in console gaming history where the most powerful system out was the one that ended up winning the gen. It's been a very rare thing. I mean, think about it. You know, Sega Saturn, way more powerful than the PS1. It bombed.
You're right.
You know, the GameCube and the original Xbox, way more powerful than the PS2. Which one won that time? I mean, one of the big exceptions to all this was the PS3, because the PS3 was more powerful than the 360, but because of the price, it was tanking. And they had to bring out a new model that had less stuff in it to get back in the scheme of things, and then they invested a lot of money in exclusives, and that's what helped it eventually win that gen. But if they had just stayed the course, they would have ended up being in third place behind the Wii and the 360. So historically speaking, it's a very, very rare thing that the more powerful console is the one that wins. I mean, one example would be the Super Nintendo, but the only reason the Super Nintendo won was because the Genesis, Sega dropped the Genesis sooner to bring in the Saturn, and to a lesser extent the 32X. And so the Super Nintendo ended up staying on the market for a couple of years after the Saturn came out.
Sega also ruined their momentum with the Sega CD and 32X.
Right.
They weren't focused on the Genesis proper.
No, right. So, but I mean, like the 8-bit generation, the NES was not the most powerful system. The Master System was more powerful, but the NES won. It's which one's got the price and which one's got the games. It's that simple.
Yep.
Because you hit the nail on the head. People don't get that because they don't realize there are some crazy people like that's in this room that love their games, love their consoles, and collectors and but when you can take the hardcore and compare it to the casuals that are constantly in their wallet and just going for a system like you said that's cheaper and they can get the most games out of at an affordable price, they're gonna go there. And that's what Microsoft ain't looking at. You can bring all the technology you want in, but if you don't have an appealing price to the casuals, and you're talking about all this power and a rough estimate, but you haven't talked about one game except now they're starting to talk about Shadow of War, but it's a multiplier. So you could bring out that console at $600, but somebody gonna get it for they already got it, their PlayStation Pro, and they ain't got to put out money for another console.
Right.
They got the power already. They got everything. They're going to buy it there. So don't use it as a selling tool.
No, don't.
Is all I'm saying.
No, I mean, they tried to and say, oh, we have like blank and blank and blank and blank, and never even freaking buy any of those games. What they buy? Multiplats. That's all they freaking buy. They will buy their Maddens, their 2Ks, their their Call of Duties, but they will never ever support no exclusives.
That was a cheap shot. That was a cheap shot. I buy console. I'm one of those.
I know. I'm just saying in general. I'm targeting the Xbox fanboys.
Yeah.
Puerto Rock, what do you got to say on that subject?
I will say this. The way I think even seventh level will agree. I don't think anybody expected for the PS4 to fucking dominate this gen in this manner.
I did.
I predicted it actually.
Well, yeah.
At least not until the unveiling. Then I was like, oh man, this is gonna be a bad gen for Xbox. But this is an ass kicking, and in the fanboys, Xbox fanboys are becoming unhinged. They're not. It's even getting harder to have a conversation with them because like they're not even listening. to counterpoints. Like for example, they have this big thing on me now, like, oh, you can't talk about the Xbox because you don't own it. And I'm like, I'm not actually talking about the box. I'm talking more about the leadership behind and the decision making behind the box. To know that Phil Spencer's making the wrong decisions.
Exactly.
Thing.
Exactly.
No, I'm not in my channel. I don't even talk about Xbox games, like saying, "Oh, Rise sucks," or the only people that does is like you, Nancy, or people who actually play the game. I let you guys don't say an Xbox game sucks or if it's good because I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't talk about that stuff. I talk about more about the policy or whatever. But anyway, so the way this thing turns out, the community is trying to latch on to trying to shape a narrative that it doesn't meet with reality. So like with this Shadow War, saying that this is a console sale. Number one, majority of the people who are gonna buy Shadow Wars already own the console. You know what I'm saying? Because this was, a sequel to the game that came out in what, 2014?
Yeah, I love that fucking game.
Yeah, and the majority of sales was on the PS4. So where do you think the majority of the sales are gonna go this time around? It's gonna be on the PS4.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And seventh hit it on the level on power versus games. Even Phil Spencer said himself that the majority of Xbox games on the Unlock podcast that he was on, he said himself the majority of console sales is going to come from the Xbox One S. The Scorpio is for a specific premium user that knows about the Scorpio, and he doesn't mind that the Xbox One S is going to be the main seller. You know what I'm saying? So he understands this. And here's another thing with this whole 4K, and everybody's talking about 4K. The PS Slim beat out the Xbox One S. That's also another 4K player and a 4K Blu-ray player.
I did not know that. I actually thought it was the other way around on that particular.
Oh, the PS4 Slim. November during
like hotcakes.
Yeah, the PS4 Slim during November
because a lot of people hated the Slim. A lot of people doubted
Yeah.
But you know what Sony
did? The Slim.
You know what Sony did? Sony did the most simplest thing. Drop the price to $250, put Uncharted in the box, and then that's it. That's all they did. And people saw, oh snap, Uncharted in the box for $250. I'm gonna get that. They didn't care that the Xbox One S was a 4K Blu-ray player. It didn't mean anything to them. That's not how you sell consoles now. Sony learned that lesson. Blu-ray players don't sell consoles. It may sell to the minority of media enthusiasts, but that's not who you want. You want your console to be a gaming console so you can attract gamers, and that's what Sony did. They attract
just another
gamers.
sign of physical media slowly going away. Because people don't care about the physical media as much when they've got instant access to either own or rent any new movie that comes out at the touch of a button from their recliner. They don't care about having to either ordering it from Amazon or having to go to a Walmart to pick it up.
Yeah, so like with the Blu-ray, whatchamacallit, Sony knew that this is not going to be a big factor for consoles because most people want to watch movies with convenience.
Right.
It's going to be media enthusiasts that want the very best bit rate and all that stuff. Gaming console, and Sony learned that lesson. Apparently nobody else saw Sony's mistake last gen. From it, Sony kept on, and you saw the result from that. The Xbox community, Microsoft is making all the wrong decisions, all of them.
Yep.
So I know he sounds like a nice guy and all that stuff, but I question all the decisions. Like for example, with Scalebound that we just mentioned that got canceled. All right, a lot of people are saying, but Phil's a businessman. He has to worry about Microsoft interests. He doesn't want to deal with developers that don't do products on time and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, let's give him the benefit of the doubt with that. But recently, Playground, people who make Forza Horizon series, they make products on time, they sell, and they have a great relationship with Microsoft. So now that they're announcing,
one thing that you brought up, I just want to elaborate just a little bit before you continue, is that they also don't realize something else. One, you're not the only decision maker. Two, keep your ass off of fucking Twitter and get your ass in a boardroom. And if somebody is not producing something properly, go to studio and kick their ass. You put money into it. That's when you stay the fuck off of Twitter and YouTube and texting and sending messages back and forth to people. You see your shit out there texting people all the time. No, his ass is in a boardroom telling people, get your ass on a stick and get it done.
Yeah. Now,
so go ahead.
So jump on that. So they're saying all because the bad relationships with Platinum Games, but then Playground, they have a great relationship already. They made 3 great games for them. They do it on time and they're successful. Yet when Playground decides to make an exclusive on their own, he doesn't want any part of it. So the company that's helping you with Forza Horizon, they deliver products on time, they're successful. You don't want to go all in for your product and get dibs on this game. That tells me I don't know what he's doing. You know, I don't know what Phil Spencer's doing. This guy's out of it. He's not working with anybody at this point.
Well, that's happening because he's being reactive instead of proactive. He tried to invest in a bunch of new IPs, and every single one of them tanked. And so now he's trying to play it more safe and protect himself a little bit because a bunch of these exclusives that he bankrolled didn't sell for shit.
But he also wasn't on their asses either. He was on Twitter talking to fanboys.
Yep.
In chat rooms. And you can't say it on chat room because I was personally in a chat room with Phil Spencer.
Is he a fanboy or is he really cool? I heard mixed reviews.
He's a nice guy when you talk to him personally. He's just a regular guy you could talk to about gaming or anything. I will give him that. But when you bring up something that's an issue, not to get off the subject of gaming, but it is gaming when it comes to the console that I'm playing on. And if I got an executive in there and you got 20 people in there, now I was in there. In fact, Iron Wolf brought me into it. And there were all these guys in there. It must have been like, oh Lord, like 10, 15 people in there.
Damn.
I get in, nobody talking. Oh, just hi Phil, how you doing? Whatever, blah, 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 blah. And I said, and I got in there, I was talking, and I said, you know, and he said, well, what do you think of the Xbox? And he was asking me, and I brought up certain subjects. As soon as I brought them up, all of a sudden, these guys had balls all of a sudden. Oh, they want to talk about it now. They left it up to the girl to bring it up to Phil Spencer. I put money into that. I'm there since OG. I put money in there. So, yes, when I get an executive in there, I'm just going to ask them things that I think would make it better, which will help the console sell better, which would make me happier to keep loving the console that I bought.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And guess what happened? That was December 2000, let's see, 17 now, 2015. And guess what? None of those things were fixed. None of the things were changed. Nothing happened.
I'll be honest. I try to have conversations, and I say Sony's philosophy. They said this is they'll push out 10 games, and maybe 3 will become extremely successful, and maybe 4 will be moderately, and then the rest not so successful. But they're going to keep pushing out those 10 games because of that philosophy for the console. Because overall, the console was good, you know. And I tried to tell the Xbox guys, fanboys, this thing. Their reply is, well, they're only doing that because the company's broke, so they have to support their platform. So then if they're broke,
we couldn't be able to put out all those games.
So I reversed the thing. So I reversed it on them. So I okay. So your thought is Sony's doing this because they're broke, so they're trying to do their best for the PlayStation. So in other words, what you're telling me is Microsoft has money, so they don't care about the Xbox. That's why they're not giving you games. And they're like, oh no, you're switching it up. I'm like, but that's pretty much what you're doing. Sony, exactly. you're saying Sony's focusing on PlayStation because that's their number one product, and they need it to survive. While Microsoft, Xbox is not their number one product, so they don't really care about making money or doing the best they can. That's pretty much what you just said without realizing it. And then they get all mad. And I'm like, that's what you get for opening your mouth and saying dumb shit. Stop damage controlling. Give props. If anything, you want Xbox to have that philosophy. Push out 10 games. 3 may be supremely successful, 4 moderate, and the rest failures, but at least they're attempting to put games on the box. But you guys are damage controlling what Sony's doing with dumb shit like, company's broke. Who gives a shit if Sony could tell it's TV or not? I don't have a Sony TV. You can't hurt me saying that Sony's TV division is gonna, go away, or the movie studio is gonna go away. I don't.
You know what? That
has nothing to do with my console.
But you know what, Puerto Rico? I hate to cut you off, but what is up with these fanboys hating Sony so much? Like, what has Sony ever done? Like, you know what? I'm gonna tell you guys something. Nintendo has dominated the consoles since the 80s, but not anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, no one fucking hated Nintendo, not that I know of. Okay, maybe they have, but not that I know of. Because every time I hear a gamer say, "I grew up with the NES," I grew up with the NES, so I always hear that. So I assume that everyone, they love Nintendo. But why is everyone hating Sony so much? What has Sony has ever done to these people?
I have a theory on that. When Nintendo dominated their era, the console, how can I put it? Except for the Master System to a certain point, the other consoles didn't get embarrassed. Like, for example, the Super NES, #1 console, but the Genesis was still a very well, played console. It wasn't really embarrassed like that. But as soon as PlayStation 1 came on the scene, it pretty much embarrassed every fucking platform that was out there. It just completely
It really
embarrassed.
did.
And
It
people
was,
didn't and people didn't like that. They didn't like the tip of the scale being two towards one console. And then when the PlayStation 2 came out, Sony, like a year after Xbox and GameCube launch, Sony said the war is over. And people didn't like that, even though it's the truth. The war was over within the first year. Like, there's nothing GameCube and Xbox could have done. You had a console.
You know what's crazy though?
And I think people don't like that. People didn't like Sony just killing the industry like that in such a fashion.
But
they kind of like
something you just said gets me, because people will go out and buy imported stuff of everything else and not bash it. You got cars, okay, and everything else. You talk about, you go to the movie theater. Well, you're going to see a Sony picture, jackass. But you'll praise those pictures. You praise a car, a motorcycle, or clothes, or furniture, or knickknacks, or china, that comes from, all over the world, jewelry, watches, everything. You'll buy all this crazy shit. But over gaming, this other stuff is more real life. You need a car to get around here. They don't bash that shit. Like, people are bashing Sony, come to find out they had a foreign car and they had a Sony TV.
Yeah. I think they don't like the fact that the PlayStation brand, for the most part, didn't just win a generation. It's pretty much, when you think of PlayStation as a brand name, it is the most dominant brand name in gaming.
Yeah.
but here's the thing.
In terms of consoles,
but here's the thing. Here, shouldn't, like, why do people hate it though? Like, I understand that Nintendo has done their glory, but no one hated Nintendo when they dominated. You can't always dominate for the rest of your life. That's why that other generations have to have the time to appeal to new people. That's why Nintendo never appealed to me, because it only appealed to people who like that kind of stuff. I don't like Mario. I don't like Donkey Kong. I don't like Zelda. I'm one of those people who would admit that. I'm not a fan of those games. I don't think they're fun. I don't think they're interesting, and I would never play those games ever again. But I don't knock people who like the Wii. I don't knock people who like Nintendo. I don't knock people who like Mario, blah, blah, blah. But why would you knock someone who likes Uncharted? Why would you knock someone because they like Crash Bandicoot? What is the major deal if a guy likes to play Sony games? Who cares? It's about gaming. I don't understand that. Like, why do people?
I don't get it either.
That's Sony, like they have a personal vendetta against Sony, and Sony came in and stabbed all their fucking family at night or something. So they have to just go and hate Sony. Like, there's a fucking.
I have a theory about all that. Now, of course, it doesn't apply to every Xbox fan, but and I hate to borrow a term from the social justice warriors, but a little bit of it has to do with, I guess you'd want to call it cultural appropriation.
Yep, exactly.
And because here's what happened, gaming used to be a more kind of close-knit, very close, mostly nerd-driven community. Okay, and it was kind of more isolated. And when the original Xbox came out, and this carried over into the 360, one of the places where the fandom for it really generated like a real grassroots type of movement was on college campuses and in dormitories. And one of the reasons being is because the original Xbox was very easily moddable, so you could basically have several dorm rooms that were all networked up to a file server, and they could share, pirated games, and they could network and play against each other, kind of like how you could have a LAN party or whatnot. But a lot of these people that got into gaming from that were not traditionally gamers prior to going into college and dorming up with someone who had picked up an Xbox. And so they started playing, Madden and NBA and all this stuff. And so that's where you started to have this kind of viewpoint of Xbox fans being jockish or being
Yeah.
college frat boys that were into sports games and shooters, and that was all they were into. Well, that's where that stereotype came from, was because for a while there, the biggest, loudest, most vocal fans of that console came out of those college campuses from the days when they first started with the original Xbox and going into the 360. And so it almost comes down to a kind of a jocks versus nerds mentality.
Right.
But then,
It's a lot. Some of these people they kind of view Sony fans, even though Sony is only a generation or so longer into the game than Microsoft was as far as hardware manufacturing, but they kind of look at Sony fans as kind of like the old school.
Yep.
We're the ones that still play games that have anime characters in them. We're still the ones that get excited about Japanese games.
Oh yeah,
and that kind of thing. Western games are the future. Japanese games are in the past. Blah 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 blah. And a lot
How
of
is it in the past? Because that's where it started.
Yep.
a lot of that is where a lot of that mentality is where that comes from. It started on college campuses, and it kind of spread out into the community from there, almost like a cancer.
Oh yeah,
Gotcha.
that makes
No,
sense.
I get what you're saying.
You know what? I never looked at it that way, and that does make sense because when I was in school, a lot of the guys who liked PlayStation were more of either the emos or the anime nerds like me, or the guys who just like gaming or whatever. And the little black kids or little white kids or something, they were like jocks or whatever. Oh yeah, dude! Like, oh my god, dude, those type of guys. Yeah, dude. Oh shit, dude. Yeah, the stoner motherfuckers. They were, oh, dude, I gotta go play my Xbox, dude. I'm gonna go play Modern Warfare 2, dude. Oh yeah, god, dude. Hell yeah, dude.
I hate
those
people who talk like that. I can't stand
Yeah,
it.
those little white guys or those little black guys who used to talk like that too. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I call them do both. I call them.
Yeah, so like when I was in school, I was, you got the little anime guys who talk about PlayStation. They're like, oh yeah, man, I was playing Naruto yesterday. Oh yeah, man, cool, man, I was playing Yu-Gi-Oh, blah, 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 blah. And, I understand that. That is the major difference. I definitely kind of actually understand that. I see what he's coming from.
No, that was a good way. What he said was a good way of putting it out there.
Right, that made a lot of sense. A lot of sense.
Okay, well, we're gonna actually move on a little bit. But like I said, it's kind of a little open because I'm winging it tonight because I had a long week and things were crazy. One thing, I got one more subject, but one thing I wanted to bring up before the subject is I got to give Seventh his prop because he said something was going to happen with the Switch. Somebody was going to stick the control up their ass, and I'll be damned if they didn't.
Oh man.
Ooh.
Seventh, they did it.
Wow.
They stuck it up their ass.
There's some times where I wish I wasn't right so much. that was one of those times.
You hit it on the head again because somebody actually did it.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was a right. It was a right. What I don't even know what website it was, but it was a writer. It was like one of those sites like Salon or one of those really progressive pro SJW type sites, and he wrote an article that said something to the effect of the Joy-Cons really have connectivity problems if you shove one up your butt.
Wow.
And that's what you got to. But somebody actually did it.
Yeah, and I'd when I first heard about the more advanced rumble and those Joy-Cons, I made a comment I think on Twitter that said it's only a matter of time before our ERs across the country are filled up with people that have Joy-Cons shoved up their ass because they were trying.
You said it on Twitter, but you also said it on your podcast on Saturday nights. You mentioned it then too. You reiterated what you tweeted, and I was like, when I heard that this week, I was like, oh man, I gotta talk about this on the podcast because Seven said it twice. He tweeted it out and he said it on his podcast, his excellent 7-hour podcast that he has done. And I got him to do an 8-hour one last week. But anyway, me and a friend. But I was shocked to actually hear that. I mean, I come on, you're grown ass people. Why are you doing that? The only other issue I have is that I'm hearing a lot of, I don't know if you guys are, So fill me in. I'm hearing a lot of bad things about the Switch and issues with it. Are you guys hearing the same thing?
Yeah, I've heard nothing but bad things about it. Actually,
There's a video on that.
I,
What am
All
I
right, one
holding
at,
for
one at a time. One at a time. I can't hear everybody.
okay. I
Well,
heard that people were tasting the cartridges.
No, I heard that too. But what I'm saying is problems with the console. I heard there was some issues.
Yes.
And
Who
I
else
know
heard of
what
issues?
I say this. I saw a video. It was maybe like 25 minutes, maybe 25 minutes worth. But I think one big thing is like when you dock the actual tablet, there's no like in the center. There's nothing to protect the screen. So after a while, you're gonna scratch the screen. You know. So as you dock it and remove it, dock it and remove it.
Coming out the box.
Yeah. So some
People would take it out the box and scratch the screen.
Yeah, so the screen's very susceptible to scratching. It's not, it's not like Gorilla Glass, but the docking is gonna wear it out, And one guy said he only used it about 8 hours and already has a scratch. Like it's already worn. The front screen's already worn, and that's after him owning it for 8 hours. Joy Cons is very common, out of sync. This thing makes a loud noise. People are like, "What the hell's going on?" And I will say this: to be fair, a lot of launch products. OS wise usually has problems, but I didn't see that the docking thing would be a problem. The screen scratch. I mean, could they not have known the screen's gonna scratch? I mean, that's something that blows my mind.
yeah, but Nintendo's R&D probably would have thought of that.
You know what? This is the new year, new time. Scratching and screens and shit shouldn't even be a thing.
Yeah,
I think iPhone and Android doesn't even do it. Even some of those low budget, shitty ass Android phones that are worth like $20 doesn't even scratch.
Yeah,
so
no shit.
Nintendo is a fucking idiot.
Well, here's the thing.
I dropped my iPhone 6 Plus out of my car, landed screen down. My screen don't have a scratch on it.
Yeah, because they use Gorilla Glass. But here's the thing. Nintendo at no point thought, hey, this is a docking station. It's designed to remove and put the tablet in. Hey, let's put it up and down 100 times and see the results. They never did that.
Wow.
Did they even that just blows my mind. They should have known we need to check the design because everybody's
Somebody
gonna
actually sent me 2 videos yesterday. One was Boogie doing one where he actually was going after Nintendo, and the other one was Angry Joe.
Yep.
Had a tablet. He actually had a tablet. People thought he was actually smashing his Switch. But he said, so after the video was over, he said, you really think this is a tablet didn't even work anymore? It was some little Android tablet that I had. I just had it around for parts or whatever. And he smashed the shit. People thought he was actually smashing his Switch that he was so mad at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I was actually thinking about going out buying a Switch, but see, like I said, it goes back to what I said again. I'm not a Nintendo fan and never will be, and this is another reason why I would never go out and buy a Nintendo product. That actually gave me a motive not to buy. When I got my income tax money, I was actually going to buy one and get one for my kids, and my girl. But I don't even want the damn thing. I think it would be a waste of money.
I actually wanted one for certain games, and I was going to wait to get it. Now, until they fix the issues, because there are some games I want to play, okay? I ain't going to lie. I love my Mario game, and that Mario game looked out of this fucking world. And it was out of this world, because you can go anywhere, okay? And I am a Zelda fan. I know you're not, Demetrius, but I am. Okay?
I know. That's why I said I don't knock people who love it. That, you know what I'm saying? I think it's cool to like Zelda.
Well, listen, I'm going to say something. The new cards, I don't like. I call them.
Yeah. So, see, they are pretty shit. I just play them because I just like to play it.
But what I'm saying is, I don't knock you for playing it. If that's your game, then by all means play it. We don't have to like the same shit. The thing is, when we do podcasts and in gaming and in life, if everybody was exactly the same, this world would be fucking boring as hell.
Right?
You gotta have differences in everybody. Everybody's gotta like something different, want something different. But my thing is that I may have to wait a little longer until they do an upgraded model and fix the screen shit, and all the other kinks in it, because I'm not gonna pull it out the box. First of all, I got long nails. Okay, I'm opening this box and my nail just accidentally touches it and scratches my screen. I'm gonna have, as my mom would say, a conniption fit. I'm gonna get mad and fuck. and I'm gonna tear that shit up. I swear to God, I'll bust that shit. I'll get so mad if he scratches that
Look
right
at the
away.
Irish coming out of her. Hey, everyone
Yeah.
that knows she's Irish, so the Irishness is coming out of her right now.
Hell yeah, it is. If I put money out on shit, it ain't gonna scratch. Like Seven said, he dropped his phone face down. You know how many times I got out of my car and dropped my phone face down? I still don't have a scratch on that phone. And I'm talking about like concrete. Bam.
Yeah.
I don't have a scratch.
Yeah.
Right.
Definitely wait for revision. Revision.
It's,
Revision of the model. Don't get it. Now, even if it has a lot of games, the actual hardware itself, they clearly didn't put a lot of thought into it in terms of the quality.
Can I say something? Can I say something?
But yeah.
But
Okay. I was thinking about waiting for the Switch because I'm like you, Princess. I like when the product is actually finished. I heard there was a new Pokemon game that was gonna be coming out, and I really like to try Zelda, and I love Mario. So I never have tried Splatoon, so that would be a treat for me. But I was here's my plan, okay? My plan is to save up for a PlayStation 4, then a PC, and then a Switch.
Oh, nice. That's actually a really good goal motive.
Yeah, I mean that's
I might need to do that too. Get a
because
PC.
not an Xbox One, because you know why? They don't have shit on their system.
Hey, you kind of make me feel bad because I'm actually on my one playing COD destroying people.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I'm just
what?
fucking with it.
Listen, I'm gonna say,
Nobody's perfect.
but they got no. It's not that they don't have no games.
Right.
Let's get that right.
Yeah.
And that's what everybody's been saying. It's not like they don't have no games. They don't have enough variety games like they had on 360.
Right.
And they bring out the same games constantly with no new variety. And when you get something that's new, what happens?
They
Trash
never
can.
buy it. They never buy
Trash
it.
can. No, it's not that they don't buy it. It's in a trash can because they cancel it or they don't know how to market it right.
Right.
Okay. And the games, or they put all their decent games all in like a 2-month period. You cannot put 6 games out at that time and think they're all going to do well. Spread them out throughout the year.
Right.
If you got 6 top games, you got 12 months. Put one out every 2 months. Then take your mediocre games, fill in the spots. You got to do that. And then the multiplats will take care of the rest.
Yeah.
You cannot take everything and put it out November and December.
And what's
October, November, December. You can't do it. People have holidays. They got families. There's 2 holidays in between holidays.
Well,
not
right now
count-
they don't even have. Right now they don't even have enough coming to be able to do that. I mean, you have
Exactly.
people on Twitter. You have people on Twitter that's actually trying to hype up Halo Wars 2 and how great Halo Wars 2 is. It could be a fantastic real-time strategy title, but these people don't understand that real-time strategy is a very niche genre.
Yeah.
You know, this is not a general gamer genre. This is not, something that someone's just going to pick up and play and suddenly, oh my God, where has this been all my life? You know, it's not. That's not the kind of genre. That's not the kind of interest that genre generates. Most people that's going to go for Halo Wars 2 are people that are pretty familiar with that genre, have been playing it for a while. But then, then they were.
I'm familiar with it, but I'm getting tired of it.
I never really played. What's the kind of RPG is that again? My friend told me that. What's the name of that RPG style of Halo Wars 2? It's
RTS?
kind of RTS. Yeah, like very similar to StarCraft, right?
Yes.
Right. Yeah, that's not
a genre that was practically invented by Dune 2 on PC way back in the day.
Right.
Really? Wow. Okay. But I mean, like I said, I'm not knocking on the Xbox. I just expect more variety. Halo, shooters and freaking racing games ain't gonna cut it. They need more. They need JRPGs. They need more. They need more variety.
Yeah, the thing of it is, though, they're not.
I want more
Microsoft isn't motivated to put that stuff out on that system because they aren't buying it.
Right.
I guarantee you, when Crackdown 3 comes out, it's not going to set the world on fire sales-wise.
It's not. I don't know what. It's insane. It's not like
if it breaks 1 million copies, I'll be shocked.
It's not like it's a franchise. We had Crackdown 1 and 2. And really what sold 1 was the Halo 3 beta. Let's be honest. because the second one barely broke 600K. How do you fall? How you go from 3 million to 600K? Obviously, the Halo 3 beta was the biggest factor for Crackdown 1. It's not a big franchise. I'm not saying it's a bad game or whatever, but when Crackdown 1 and 2 came out, those weren't the top games of those years. You know, they were just exclusive title, you know. Now it's fine to have a Crackdown, but you need more to it, you know. So if you're heading into 2017 with Crackdown Sea of Thieves and you think you're gonna sell a lot of consoles, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, that ain't it. That ain't the answer. You know, even NPD just came out once again. PlayStation is the #1 selling console, despite the fact that you know the Xbox One S has a 4K player. Hell, it has a Minecraft bundle. You would think Minecraft alone would help the console.
Yeah.
Minecraft died off.
Not even that. Not even Minecraft can help it.
You can get Minecraft on your fucking phone now.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So why do Microsoft so I know Microsoft is not worrying about Minecraft. I personally don't play it. I think I tried to play it one time and that was I think that was on my PS4 and I tried to play it a while ago. Actually, no, I take that back. That was actually on PS3 when I played Minecraft and I didn't like it. I thought it was awkward.
Oh, we know you love it. We know you love it.
We actually got way
you know what?
off
Hey,
topic.
He's seventh. He walks his donkey through the thing, helping him build.
I love Minecraft.
Hey, I probably do. Nancy, I probably do.
I love Minecraft. I can walk donkeys all day if I want to.
Jordan, you don't get that one. Never mind.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm
it's all right.
No.
I know what
It's
you're
a
saying.
thing.
Inside
It's a
joke.
thing.
Inside
It's a thing that I started calling Donkey Fucker. Yeah.
Well, let's get why don't we get back on the original topic that this came from, which was the Switch.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, first of all, Nancy, you asked why would anybody shove a Joy-Con up their ass? Well, you know, to misquote Winnie the Pooh, I guess some people just want a rumbly in their bumbly, you know. But
Oh shit.
but
Gay.
you know, I
But
think
it's still nasty.
that's kind of the point. It's you know, they're basically using it as a prostate simulator with the rumbling in there, yeah. But what's yeah, I wish it wasn't true, but it is. I mean, I saw it coming.
It's out there.
I saw it
It's
coming.
out there.
And I was like, oh God, I could just see this now. And then it happened. And like I said, sometimes I hate being right. But I've been seeing a lot of stuff about hardware failure. And actually, and I was talking about this before the podcast started, Eighth actually experienced this firsthand. He had a friend at school who got one for his birthday. And he brought it to school with him, and he had it in his little Switch carrying case his parents had gotten him. And they're sitting there in class, and all of a sudden there's this loud screeching noise that fills the classroom, and everyone's looking around thinking that the fire alarm's gone off. And they realize that it's coming from this kid's backpack. And he opens up his backpack, takes out that
Well, wait a second.
that
The
Switch
thing's not even
case.
plugged in.
I know, it's just sitting loose. He opens the thing up. He opens the thing up, and the screeching noise is coming from the Switch, and there's all this distorted, you know, gibberish all over the screen, like it's flashing white with like letters and symbols and crap. And then it made this kind of loud snap noise, and the screen went dead, and then it just stopped. And he couldn't turn it back on. He couldn't turn it back on again. And when Eighth told me about that, I went on YouTube and started looking around, and there's videos on YouTube of the exact damn same thing happening to other people. That it makes this really loud squealing noise, and the screen just flashes a bunch of gibberish, and then it goes
What the
dead.
fuck is wrong with Nintendo, dude? This is the best time for them to make a good console, and then that happens. Oh no, they almost sold me on that Switch too. They almost got me. They almost got me on that Switch. They almost did, and they fucked that up.
Another crazy thing about it is that
I already said that I was not going to get it. I was looking towards like more like the end of the year when more of the games came out.
Right.
But now hearing all this, unless they bring out something brand new and I see good reviews, I can't do it. Nintendo, you're disappointing me. You're disappointing me already with the Wii U. Don't do it now with the Switch. And if all this shit is happening, I can't, in good conscience, take my hard-earned money and go put it in there. And like you said, Seven, like Eight said, you know, I have it sitting there, and in the middle of the night, this thing fucking goes off and gives me a goddamn heart attack. because it's talking gibberish when it's not even plugged in. Get out of here. And I got screen my room lights up with all these buzzy shit going on and letters all over the shit. Shit sounds like it's possessed or something.
Yeah, man. Like, yeah, I understand that shit. Like I said, they almost got me on that. They almost got me. Nintendo almost got me. And until I hear that, man, nah, Nintendo, you're good. I'm still going to be a guy who never buys a Nintendo product.
Well, I've always had people tell me, why do you buy consoles at launch? The launch lineups are never good, blah blah blah. Well, this past generation, the launch lineups were pretty solid, I thought. But with the Switch, not only are you having all these hardware issues, but the launch lineup is really nothing to brag about. I mean, you got one game,
Zelda,
which is also available on the Wii U, because let's be honest here, it started out as a Wii U game and they just ported it over.
Yeah.
Just like they did with Twilight Princess on the GameCube to the Wii.
Even runs better on the Wii U.
Right. And
but look at this. But look at this shit. They bring out the game when I was looking at the Switch. They brought that game Arms. I'm watching them when they did their unveiling of the game. The games that were coming out and
Arms
whatever.
Fucking stupid.
What game?
That's what I said. I'm looking at that Arms. It's called Arms. I'm looking at this thing. I was like,
what game is that?
Fuck?
Is it
That's
made by
the one.
Nintendo?
That's that fighting game where they got spring arms and they sling their arms around at each other and all this shit.
They toss it on.
Looks stupid as fuck.
Oh.
Yep.
But like I said, stuff like that appeals only to Nintendo people.
But aside from that, though, when you look at the lineup, it's like their next big. It's like their next big anticipated title is Mario Kart 8, which again is already on the Wii U. Then they've got Splatoon 2, which looks exactly like Splatoon 1. So I mean, up until Mario in holiday season, everything that's coming out for it, if you've already got a Wii U, you really don't have a reason to buy one.
Right.
Right.
And yet, during the previous generation, every time that Sony would bring out a remastered PS3 game or something like that, the Nintendo fans, all you've got is all that remastered shit. Well, now you got a console that has nothing but
remasters.
You got Arms, and that's about it. Arms and indie games. What was it they were calling PlayStation 4 when it first came out? Indie Station. And now they got nothing but remasters and indie games.
There you go.
Yep.
Chickens home to roost.
For Christ's sake, they even have Skyrim. Like, seriously, Skyrim is on everything now.
Yeah, and it looks like PS3 Skyrim. It doesn't look like it runs for the fuck.
Remaster or the PC version.
Oh my god, this guy killed me on fucking COD and he lagged. Oh, sorry.
Oh, and have you seen?
You're not supposed to be playing while you're on my podcast. You're supposed to be concentrating to me.
I'm concentrating.
Subjects earlier.
Has anybody else watched? Has anybody else watched Digital Foundry's video about the upcoming?
Which one?
It's a comparison video they did for the upcoming Dragon Quest Heroes 2. They compared the Switch version, the PS4 Pro version, and the Vita version.
Yeah, I did see that. The PS4 version seems to be the best.
Right, and it runs at 60 frames per second with high textures and better shadowing and all this stuff. Mm-hmm. And they basically said that when looking at the Switch version, that it was more or less like the PS3 version of the game, and they had just like spruced it up and increased the resolution rate on it.
Damn.
I mean, and a lot of the comparisons for multiplats that the Switch is getting, it's that same story over and over again. And then when you look at I was expecting there to be at least, a pretty moderate power jump from the Wii U to the Switch. But if you go and actually look where they're comparing the benchmarks between the two, there's not near as much difference as I thought there would be. And it just kind of hammers in what I said last week, that it's not a console you can take on the go. It's a handheld that you can plug into your TV. It's the Vita 2.
Yeah. You've been saying that for over a month now. You've been saying that for over a month now, Seven.
Yep.
Yeah, Nintendo's best bet, because obviously this is not going to be a good. If they keep pushing the console narrative, they're going to fail badly. They need to. They need to advertise this as a portable device, the way it's supposed to be, and because it uses the ARM architecture and stuff, they need to seek out mobile developers that are already doing games on tablets and phones and maybe they could do something. Maybe they could take their development to the next level of mobile gaming. You know what I mean? And attract that crowd. You're not going to attract the PS4, Xbox crowd, and PC crowd. They're not going to all of a sudden, start playing on that console. That's not what it is. And we already seen that first party alone on the Nintendo platform doesn't cut the mustard. It's not enough.
Right.
Bottom line, nothing they're going to do is going to help either them or Microsoft, and I'll tell you why. It's the truth. The final nail in the coffin has been hammered. It was announced this week that 3D virtual porn is coming to the Sony VR.
Oh my God!
Are you serious?
Oh, Lord have mercy.
It's done.
You think it's a joke, but
I'm dead serious.
70% of the internet is porn.
I'm telling you the truth. I'm dead serious. It was announced that it's coming. And as we all know, whichever platform gets the most porn has won the last several generations.
That thing's gonna sound like hotcakes.
There you go.
It's not even a joke. It's not a joke.
When I told my girl,
Aaron, help us.
When I told my girl about the VR headset, she was like, "Yeah, people are gonna watch fucking porn on that thing too."
Yes, that's not even gonna be a joke. Like,
no, it's
what's
not
that
a joke.
working out?
No, you know what's fucked up?
It's gonna be insane.
You got kids playing on this shit.
Right?
Oh God. Yep.
And it would not surprise me at all. It would not surprise me at all if they came out with some kind of USB fleshlight type thing that you plug into the front of the PS4 that interacts with the VR. That's like some non-approved third-party device.
Yeah.
Some kind of dildonics type deal. You hook up the helmet.
What you just laid out there, I am so glad.
Helmet, you plug your dingus in it, and it syncs up with whatever's going on screen. It'd probably run off the same kind of. It'd probably run off the same kind of signal generation that the new Rumble runs off of. It's going to be rumbling your dick instead of rumbling some Nintendo fan's asshole.
That's enough.
What's funny? It's probably happening as we speak. It's probably being developed as we speak right now.
But that's sad because you got to realize you got kids on this shit. Okay. Now I'm glad. Right. Currently, I have kids that are, at all, and because if I heard this shit, man, I'd be snatching that fucking game system right out of hand right now.
I want to see that.
No, that's a little bit extremist. I mean, there's porn on DVD players, there's porn on Blu-ray players, there's porn on your phone, there's porn on your PC. Are you going to take all those away too?
Yeah, and I don't think there's going to be sold on
what I'm saying,
Amazon or Best Buy.
The
I got a quick tab of it on my phone, so
They're going to be able to go to GameStop and buy this shit. They're not going to have it on the 3-foot high rack where the little kiddies can see it.
Yeah, there's going to be like adult shops. There's going to be straight up adult shops, but
it's probably going to be online order only. Really.
Yeah, that's going to be ridiculous.
My thing is that I don't think that's necessary. It's a gaming console. Let's just game.
Right. Yeah, right.
That's all I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that you got to be careful. When it comes to movies and DVDs and all that, it's up to the parent.
Right.
To make sure that shit ain't in the house and they don't have access to it. If a parent just leaves that shit around, if they're into it, or lets the kid have access to it, then to me, you're not a good parent. You're letting them become an adult before they're a child. Let them be a child. Let them enjoy gaming. Forget the rest of that shit.
Right, exactly. I mean, come on. Why?
But that was a good subject to bring up, though. Yeah. No, he had a good subject to bring up because.
Oh, and before anybody,
some news.
And no offense to you, Jordan. But before anyone accuses me of talking about such subject matter in front of minors, Jordan's 24. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
I know that. No, I know. He got just a young voice.
I mean, people listen.
Everybody listen. Jordan is of age. He just got a young voice.
I have a congenital muscular dystrophy, if you want to know that. I have less estrogen and I have less hormones. If that doesn't say anything, then I don't know what to tell you.
You tell him, Jordan.
You let him know.
Hey, but you know what, Jordan? Don't let people, talk shit about you, man.
Yeah, I know.
Absolutely not.
Trust me, I've seen some of Jordan's videos. He goes back. He'll go back at your ass. He ain't afraid to go back at your ass.
Hey, but that's good though. That's good though.
I'm not gonna sit there and let people put me down because I stand up strong for myself, and it doesn't matter how my voice sounds. I still act like a grown man in some ways. You know what I'm saying?
Right. You know what? That's a good thing, man. You know, that's a really good thing. You know what? That should
I've seen
actually,
some of his videos though.
you know,
He's going ass in on people, and I'm telling you some real shit. I've heard him tell some people off in all communities, Xbox community included. He doesn't play that shit, and that's why I said, we talked about him coming as a guest. That's why I wanted to give him an opportunity to come on, because he stands up for himself.
Right.
Ain't no and one thing Jordan will tell you, I don't want no pity party. I can take care of myself. I don't need y'all. He's said that many times. I don't need y'all. That's what I like about Jordan. I don't need you. I got you.
Yeah, and when they try to come at him, he comes at them back balls deep, and he puts them away wet. I mean, there ain't no other way to put it.
right.
The kid can stand up for himself. That's not he's definitely not a kid in that respect. He's
right.
Right.
No,
that's a good thing.
He knows how to dish it out.
You know what, Jordan, man, you'll be a very good inspiration for a lot of people who are getting bullied and who are suffering not from that same condition, but people who are just going through a lot of stuff at school and stuff.
Right.
Yeah, any
Because
condition.
it could be
You'll be a
anything.
very good inspiration. And you know what, man? You deserve like 2 million subs. You deserve more subs than fucking T Martin.
I have 200. I have 260 subs right now. I've been sitting there for a long time,
But that's good though. I wish I had that.
You're gonna do a shout out, and we're gonna help you get some more. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, I
We
know.
definitely- We want to.
I'm gonna keep doing shout outs, and I'm gonna shout out some people. I think I shouted out you 7th level. Did I?
I think you
I
did.
believe you did a couple of times. Yeah.
Yes.
I did. Cause didn't you comment on my video?
Yeah, I found one of your videos and I posted a comment on it.
Right. And I remember.
He shouted out me. I know that.
And
Jordan shouted out me a couple times.
I remember the first time that I was in your comment section, and I said, "Hey, what if I could do my spin on this?" And he said, "Sure." It's like, what's your Twitter? And I gave him the details, and he followed me. He tweeted my video, and he went subscribe to my channel. And
Look at 7 being a good guy.
hey,
Seven's a good guy. He can be a pain in the ass once in a while because he talks the truth.
Hey,
and make
the bigger and more active the community, the better.
Right. And thank you. I thank you for following me, though. I'm a huge fan of you, 7.
I think a lot of people are fans. I think a lot of people are fans of 7th, though. I think a lot of people are.
What interests me though is what you said, the history of Treyarch, man. I could listen to you all day, bro. I mean, you're not.
What sold on me on 7 was that don't buy this shit videos. That what sold on me on him.
Right. And he knows his shit about gaming. He got like tons and tons of consoles, and you see his wall. Oh my god, I envy him because oh my god,
nerd. That's what 7th is. Nerd.
Yeah.
Just call me ogre.
Nerd.
7 gets down to the nitty gritty. He knows what he's talking about. He knows what he's doing, and he preaches a lot, and he's trying to help out the community and stuff, and I give 7 a level of high praise. So here's a clap.
Look at you, 7. Look at you.
I appreciate
Wow,
that.
7th became the hero of the show tonight. Seven's blushing. Now you're really a redneck. Now you're really a redneck.
Hey, you know what, 7? I'm gonna pat you on the head.
Now. I'm all
Hey, 7, I'm gonna pat you on the head. I'm gonna pat you on the head like you told me last time, like the little anime kids. How about that?
Yeah. Now my cheeks match my neck.
I was going to pat Nancy too. I was going to pat her on the
I'm
head.
a redhead.
You ain't gonna pat me on the head. Ain't no damn dog. All right.
What's that doing?
Nancy,
Ain't
you
no
watched
donkey.
anime before, Nancy.
I
You
ain't
know
no,
what that means.
I ain't no donkeys you can pat on the head either. Mhm.
Nancy, you watched anime before. You know what that means. The little anime kids pat each other.
I
on
know.
the
I'm busting your chops.
head.
You know I'm gonna get you back, Demetrius. Yeah, I
Oh,
ain't gonna
yeah.
let you just talk. Come on. You know I gotta throw some other side shit in there. That's what I do. That's why we have fun.
That's why I love this podcast. Everyone loves it.
Right.
Listen, I got one more subject, but if anybody has something in the news that they want to talk about before I bring up the last subject, speak
The
now or forever
PS5,
hold your peace.
JK, the PS5, JK, that's not real news.
Yeah, I've heard Crap Gamer talk about that. He was saying something about that shit. He said about the PS. Yeah, I've heard him say something about that, and yeah. And then, oh yeah, just like I was about to say something else. You know what, Nancy? I'll ask you that later on after the show because this one is a little bit more personal.
Well,
yeah,
I'll move on, and because this may open shit up to other things you guys might want to talk about. Okay. Now, for me, one of the biggest news of this week was.
Drama,
Hear me out, guys. Hear me out, guys. Hear me out when I say this. The Xbox fanboys on YouTube and on Twitter. And I'll tell you why. Because some of them are finally admitting that Xbox One doesn't have games. Real
What?
games, not the bullshit. Not the bullshit. Now, if you go back, there's only one person I'm going to name because other people I'm not going to give them any credit for nothing because I think they're doing it just to get props and more subs or whatever. But something, you know, but this is crazy because I've been saying this for months and nobody was, when I said it didn't have games, I didn't mean it doesn't have no games, whatever. You guys know what I was getting at and you all elaborated on that for me, so I didn't even have to go there. But you have somebody like, which I said this in past podcasts, and I know Seventh heard me, and I know that Porter Rock heard me. Okay, Next Gen 720. Being honest, is some of his new videos.
yeah, I've seen that.
He's
Yeah,
being
that, you know what? That's what I was also about to say, but I forgot to mention that.
All right. But let me finish. He had a lot of videos. My problem, and he knows I like him. He my buddy for a long time. Stay away from these jackasses and stop doing your other the crazy shit, that fanboy shit. Keep it real. Keep it 100. That's all I'm gonna say. Then you have other people, and I was gonna mention name, but I'm not gonna do that. But I'm gonna say all these frauds out there that are having a change of heart because they know they were wrong the entire time. We here do not do podcasts like this to make fun of Xbox. That's not what we're doing because a lot of us here are multi-console owners that come in my podcast. Okay? Or believe in the Xbox, even if they don't own it, just believe their things need to change. So I'm going to put that out there too. We do these podcasts because everyone has the right to be informed, not misinformed about what's going on. We bring the facts, and as a multi-console owner, I have a right to do that. So if nobody likes that, get a debate with me, and I will whoop your ass in that debate. That's all I'm going to say. But then I seen something stupid today. Some crazy, this is the part you guys are going to love. Some crazy Xbot says, you guys ready for this? Cuphead has better graphics than Horizon Zero Dawn. Please share your thoughts on that. You're laughing.
Who
Share your
said
thoughts
that? Who the fuck even said that?
some crazy Xbot person. I'm not giving names. I'm not giving them a shout out.
Oh,
Hell
boy.
no.
I know exactly because I was talking. I just replied, like, bro, you just made yourself look ridiculous.
Hold on,
Is this the same individual who was talking on Twitter about how it was, you know, they had to draw every single frame of it by hand and hand drawn animation and all this shit? trying to justify their comment when everyone came and shat on them for it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Is this fucking game that looks like a game that's from the old fucking Mickey Mouse cartoons
Yeah, like
from the
Steamboat
fucking
Willie.
40s?
Now, art style.
How the fuck do you compare that to how do you compare that?
And I try to help them.
Because that's all they've got to
isn't it?
compare.
I try to help him. I'm like, bro, you probably mean you like the art style better. Nope, he went with graphics. I'm like, I'm done. Like, you could run the game on a tablet. Like the game could be ran on a tablet. It's nothing. It's a nice art style, you know. Has the Steamboat Willie.
But see, I gotta give Porter Rock credit because when these Xbots get stupid,
They just know dealing with
he tries to help them every time to get themselves out of shit, and they don't listen to Porter Rock.
Like, yo,
They dig themselves deeper.
This is what it feels like. It feels like there's a building burning, right? And you run in, you grab the person out, and once you're outside, they run back in. I'm like, bro, like, what are you doing? Like, come on now. Tell me, I just pulled you out and you run back in. Forget it, burn. I'm sorry, I tried. I'm like, I'm not going back in there. I'm like, forget it. You know, but that's what I felt like. I try to help him out. I'm like, maybe he thinks it's art style because I seen that. You know, especially during the PS2 days when they compare like Okami to like other games and stuff like that, like the art style and all that stuff. I'm like, you know,
exactly. Art styles are different than graphics.
Yeah, I get it. Nope. Sorry, they went in the deep end. You know, I was like, yep.
Oh shit.
Oh my god.
You know, you just
drowned.
They snorting too much oxygen.
So what the fuck happened to Cuphead? Is it released or hasn't ever been?
It just keeps getting delayed.
It's getting delayed.
So why would why would an indie game like that be fucking delayed?
So this is what I was told. So the original format.
I'm being dead serious. That game can run on my cell phone.
Yeah, the original format of the game was just boss battle. So it was just a stage, and you just face boss battle after boss battle after boss battle.
That's boring.
But they went, yeah, exactly. So they went back, and now they're making it into a proper levels and stuff like that.
Oh, or yes?
Yes.
Yes, leave it on. All right. Why you don't put that other one on instead?
Huh?
Hit the mic.
Mute your mic, man.
Mute the mic.
There you go.
I had to mute mine too because I just got done using the restroom. Shit. Yeah, but a game that can run on my cell phone, then I
guess it's just a design. They were just gonna release a game where it's just boss battle to boss battle.
I
got no problem giving the game credit where it's due. I mean, it's probably one of the best looking side scrolling games.
Yes,
2D side scroller ever made. But to compare it to an open world 3D game that looks better than pretty much any open world game on a console ever has, no.
I even think Horizon looks better than Uncharted, and Uncharted's not open world.
A lot of
better. Yes. Horizon looks better on Uncharted. And I'm playing on the vanilla, so I'm comparing vanilla to vanilla.
A lot of people have said that, and
Horizon. I mean, it's not even a contest. I'm like, when I saw Horizon, I'm like, holy shit! It's clear as day. It looks better than Uncharted.
I think there's a couple of things that Uncharted has better. I think its lip syncing is better.
Yeah. Yes.
Because,
animation. Yes.
The animation kind of falls short on Horizon every now and again. It's like it goes out of sync.
Yeah.
And I've seen some, and I've had a couple of instances where the cutscene that their mouth stops moving altogether, and it's just a voice coming out of a non-moving mouth.
It's like,
and then
it's like an old kung fu flick.
Yeah, and I think Uncharted 4's water effects look a little bit more realistic.
I agree. In fact, the water effects, like, you don't see much reaction from the water, so I do agree with that.
Right, but that's
I don't know.
That's two things. That's two things, you know.
Yeah. But graphically, oh my god, like the foliage too, like, oh my god, it looks.
Oh, and I had a weird experience the other day. I was watching 8th play Horizon, and Horizon almost crashed itself because it decided to do an autosave in the middle of a cutscene.
Oh shit!
And it nearly crashed the game. And it sat there for like 45 seconds. Then it finally said autosave complete or whatever. And then
what the hell?
And then the cutscene started again. I've never seen it do that before or any other game do that. It was kind of weird.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then there's been some like really minor stuff. Like he killed this big giant thing in the desert, and it fell over against the wall, and it just started. Well, there's no other way to put it. It started humping the mountain that it landed on. And it was just where its collapsing animation glitched, and it kind of got stuck clipping into the scenery, and so it's trying to pull it. Its corpse is trying to pull itself out of the scenery so it could fall over and finish its death animation. But it just made it look like it was humping this mountain for all of its
A
work.
couple of patches, the game should be working fine.
And my eighth actually saved that clip and uploaded it to his channel, Eighth Gajira. And so you can see, you can see it humping the mountain if you go and check out his channel.
Okay, I will.
You know what the crazy thing is? Even with any little glitches, you got to give Eighth his props. He not only finished the game, he platinumed the damn game.
Yeah, and 4 days after release.
If anything,
he did last Saturday while 7th was live. He platinumed the shit out of that bitch.
Damn.
You know what though?
In
To be
4
honest with
days.
you, Eighth is more of a real gamer than half of these fucking gamers in this goddamn fucking community. He said he should be in this damn community debating, telling people.
School.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy. This
I
kid
raised him
goes to
right. What can
school.
I say?
Yeah, you raised that man right.
I'm gonna give you props. And not only does he go to school, but he gets good grades too.
Yeah.
On top of it. So his dad did do the right thing by saying, hey, you gotta get good grades though if you want to play your games too. I'm sure as a good parent, that's what he said, and he got his grades and he can play.
Right.
Yeah.
That's how I'm gonna do my son. That's how I'm gonna do my daughter. But see, my daughter, she loves playing the game with me. She's only 3, so she loves to play.
That's
She
cute.
got time. She got time. She's only 3. Does anybody have anything that you heard at all? Whether it be on YouTube you want to mention, on Twitter, on a gaming site that was news that I didn't bring up that you think the fans may be interested in, or the gaming community may be interested in, if listening to the podcast, or that may be listening later on?
Have y'all heard? This may be off the subject, but you did say, "Have we heard this?" Have you guys heard about the whole GameStop situation, about the Game Pass, GameStop losing their shit and their sales? Because I saw 7th. I saw you made a video about that too. No, was it you? It was
I made a video about Game Pass, but I didn't mention.
That was Rich.
The GameStop connection, which was
that was Rich who made it.
Their stock took a major shit when that was announced. So.
Right, that was Rich who made that shit, and I was like, whoa.
But isn't it true that GameStop said something about if certain shit goes down with that, they're gonna stop selling the console?
I haven't read that. I don't know.
No, I heard something about if they try to do all this digital shit and doing all this other crazy shit, that they're gonna stop selling a particular console. Now, it was just I just read it somewhere, like it's been a crazy week, so I don't remember where I read it at. But it was something said that something about if they keep messing around, if anybody keeps messing around, they're not going to sell that particular console. Did anybody else hear that?
That's an interesting proposition. Like, how much pull does these retail stores have in slowing down the digital distribution? Like, for example, let's say if GameStop decides not to sell Xbox Ones anymore, right? That's a pretty significant, chunk of sales that Xbox will lose. And if Sony decides, like, you know what, we don't want to go through with that, so we won't push digital as hard. I mean, it could like shape or misshape.
It can upset the whole thing.
It could really slow down.
So you think like GameStop is another reason why like Sony and Microsoft are doing so well? You think so? I thought it was
a combination.
Amazon.
You got to realize
they're a piece of the puzzle.
You got to realize they are like part of Spain. They're a piece of the puzzle, because you got to realize something. If you're going to go digital, these places, and I'll go from GameStop, I'll even go all the way as far as fucking Walmart. They sell the games.
Yeah.
They sell Target. All these places. They what's that other place? Oh shit, we buy TVs from all those other places.
Best Buy.
Best Buy.
Best
Yeah.
Buy is actually the best place to buy games.
But what I'm saying is,
because
if
of them,
you take away the games as well and go digital, they're going to be like, "What? You just made us lose a chunk of our sales as well." So why should we support your ass? And a place like GameStop or these small little retailers that sell games and consoles, they're not going to buy your shit because that's their livelihood.
Look at all the
You're taking
interest
away
they
part of
drive.
their livelihood.
Like midnight
Okay?
launches and all that kind of shit. You ain't going to get any of that if you go digital.
no.
That builds up a lot of interest in the product when they have these midnight releases and special launch night events and all that kind of shit. It's all promotional stuff, and you're not going to get that kind of grassroots interest in your product by going fully digital because there isn't going to be anything in the store for them to push or celebrate. So
when you think about it, when a gamer goes into a store, they buy a console generally for the most part once, but they keep going back and back and back for games. You know, that's the thing. It's kind of like the razor model. You buy the stick for a cheap price once, but you're always gonna keep going back for replacement razors over and over and over. That's where the money maker's at. The money's in the blades, not the razor itself.
And it's even worse for GameStop because the majority of their game revenue comes from used games.
Yes, that's what would kill them.
Yes, and the other thing is people are gonna go like even to those smaller games stores or whatever. They're gonna go where they get somebody that's knowledgeable. Like I have one of the areas where I live. It's a little bit out of my way, but I can go there. They have all the old retro games, all the old games, all the old consoles. They have all that shit. Okay, they have people that come in. They do all this gaming shit within the store. Okay, they have like a little group sessions, and these people come in. But what I'm saying is that people also go where people have knowledge of gaming.
Right.
You're not going to buy a console somewhere and then say, okay, well, because usually they, some people in these stores or most of the people are also gamers as well. So they'll tell you, oh, what game do you recommend? Well, I got a couple and this is why. And they'll bring you around to the games. Well, you're going to buy a console. You can't go back and ask them that no more because it's digital now. So you can't do that.
Yeah.
You just you're taking you're trying to make that's the only thing I don't like the way this world's going. Everything is digital. You're trying to put people out of fucking business. You're trying to do this. You're trying to do that. Stop doing that shit.
You know what?
Just
You know
let
what?
life
You know what,
move
Nancy?
slowly.
You know what, Nancy? But you also got to think about it. You got to blame Netflix. You got to blame Hulu. You got to blame Amazon Instant Video for starting this digital beast and stuff because that's what fucked up Blockbuster. That's what fucked up Blockbuster. You guys remember how Blockbuster
I've been saying that.
That's part of why these locally owned game stores are starting to become so successful and popular. It's because it's a sort of backlash against the new flow of things. You've got people that are kind of reverting back to their nostalgia, and they come into these stores and they realize there's a lot of people that miss the way things used to be insofar as all coming, everyone going over to one kid's house and sitting on the couch and just swapping the controllers back and forth and having a good time. That's what people associate that with retro gaming, and so those stores are starting to spring up everywhere, and they're being very successful. And that's why the prices on some of these used games are going up and up and up. Even though a lot of them you can buy the ROMs for them and play them legally on a lot of the consoles nowadays. It's because of kind of a backlash against the direction that modern gaming is going, and so some people are just saying, you know what? Fuck it, I'm going to go buy a Nintendo and I'm going to buy a Super Nintendo and I'm going to have my friends over and we're going to order some pizza and we're going to play some TMNT.
But you know what?
57, you know what I'm talking about because you're a collector too. You're a collector too. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're a collector just like I am. So, it's hard. It's not that I don't want any of that. Like, I do have some games that you can only download. Okay, I get that. But you don't have to have everything downloadable.
No.
Okay. You don't realize by the time you do, it's just like what they did with I'll give you a good example of what it does to the economy everywhere if you do all this shit and what it does to people. It's just like when you call a company you want to talk to somebody. Normally, you get an operator. Oh, you need what department? Okay, you get the department. Now you got to go through. Oh, press this button, press that button, and you get so goddamn frustrated because you're pressing the buttons and it ain't working. And
Yeah.
you got to start all over, and you spend
That's how it is for me.
hour trying to get
Good
somebody
job.
to goddamn talk
Sprint
to.
on the fucking phone.
What was that?
That's how I feel when I try to get Sprint on the fucking phone.
Well, you understand what I'm saying? But they're doing it everywhere. And what are you doing? Then you talk about the economy is bad. Stop putting people out of jobs.
Yep.
You can still use technology to give them a better system so they can put you in the right place. You can still use the technology. You're trying to put us fucking fucking in space. Oh, you know what? This is what we're gonna do. By 20, by 2020, we're gonna have rocket ships so we could just take a vacation to Mars. All right.
Yep.
Yep. They already planning out for people to go.
You know what I'm saying? Come on. We don't even got shit straight here, and you're worried about fucking Mars.
Right.
But Nancy is not lying. She's actually right.
Priorities.
But you know what though? But it also goes back for me too, because you guys have that nostalgia. Like it goes back to what Seventh was saying. Like me, like I said, I was the only child growing up, and I didn't have nostalgia when it comes to like friends coming over because I was the only child. I didn't have friends growing up. I was the actual OG emo kid. You know what I'm saying? Not the whole little kids with the little skater clothes and shit wearing the color black and think that's emo. No, I was actually the considered an emo kid who didn't really talk to a whole lot of people. I just talked gaming amongst the peers that I knew, but maybe like 2 or 3 people. But I didn't have friends to come over to the house and play games and all that stuff. So me, like digital distribution doesn't bother me because I mostly get my games digitally. And all my games that I have on my PlayStation, on my Xbox are either digital. I can't even remember the last time I actually went out to the store and bought a disc game. Now, don't get me wrong. I used to love buying physical copies because it actually shows that you own that game. Because you know how it is now, and if you don't have internet connection, they won't even allow you to play those games. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't bother me because I'm always connected on the internet. So,
Right.
But for people who aren't always connected, it's not going to be a good thing. So I recommend people who generally don't always have a good internet connection or don't always have Wi-Fi, don't support digital media for yourself because it's not going to benefit you. It's only benefited for people.
See, that's it. But you just brought up a good point. There are a lot of areas throughout the country and throughout the world where the internet sucks.
Right.
Yep.
These people, you want to put everything digital. What about these people?
Are they going to be SOL then? Probably. I don't know. That's
for gaming. Exactly. Now, see, you brought up something else. You were an only child, so you didn't have friends over. I personally didn't have friends over. I have a lot of siblings that are older than me.
Yeah.
They taught me all the retro shit. Okay? They did all that with me. They sat down with all the old consoles. That's where I learned from.
Yeah.
Because they kept their shit. You know what I'm saying? So I learned from them from real little. Like you're saying your daughter's 3. So I was probably about 2 or 3 when my brother started teaching me shit. You know what I mean? So it's just my family, my whole family games. You go to any family member of mine, they got all the consoles in the house.
My mom was a gamer.
Parents,
she was a gamer. That's
My
what
my mother and father used to go even to the arcades when they were open. They used to tell me about that. They used to go to the arcades and play. Because I remember when the first time somebody told me about Pong, I said, what the fuck is Pong? But they still had the old console that I knew what Pong was because I got to play it on the old console. My parents had that shit. My parents.
My parents had a NES, and I got to play Super Mario Bros. And Super Mario Bros. 3 when I was little. So I got lucked out, you know?
I wish I was able to play. You know what? Like, I wish I was able to have that nostalgia to say I played the NES. I never played it. The closest Nintendo product I ever played was N64. It's like a really good nostalgia product. Now, I'd owned a GameCube. Like I said, I owned a GameCube, but the only reason why I ever owned one was because Resident Evil 4.
Right.
That was
Oh,
the
you
only
lied.
reason
You said
why.
you don't like Nintendo. You don't like Nintendo, so you shouldn't have a GameCube. I
No, no,
caught
no,
you.
no,
I caught you.
no,
I'm
no.
exposing
That
you
was
right now.
years ago. No, that was no exposed because that was years ago.
Well, way before the NES came out, here at least here in the United States, you could still play Nintendo games. It's just they were all licensed to the 2600 and the ColecoVision.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
So, like for
Correct.
example, the pack-in for the ColecoVision when the ColecoVision came out was Donkey Kong.
Wow, really? Wow.
Ooh,
That's impressive.
Donkey Kong.
I mean, you could get Donkey Kong. You could get Donkey Kong on Intellivision, 2600, ColecoVision. Nintendo had several games that were available on other platforms before the NES hit the United States, and even way back when, they had Nintendo had a Pong clone. I don't think it was ever released in the United States. It was over in Japan, but it was kind of like all the different Pong clones that were available here, but it was made by Nintendo. It was a big
I
ugly,
didn't know that.
this big ugly orange looking thing. It was actually I've seen a few of them, at swap meets and whatnot, but
Did they?
you
Did
can actually I think AVGN actually showed one off in one of his
Yeah.
videos.
I'm sure because he showed an episode where he had a ton of home consoles and he was and he was reviewing like I think it was Atari something, and he has all those Pong consoles that they had that they keep knocking off,
Yeah, I was trying to one day. You know
I had
what?
the Radio Shack one was the one I had when I was a kid, and I didn't even have it new. It was a hand-me-down from my cousins, but
I mean, I never, like I said, I was never a fan of Nintendo, and I just never understood what was so cool about them. Like a lot of when I was, like I said, when I was
He
going,
likes donkeys.
no,
Yep.
like,
Right, Seventh?
yeah, no,
That's right. It's all about that
yeah,
ass.
no, no, but I was wondering, what's so good about Nintendo? But you know what? I found out one guy actually told me this. He said a lot of people like Nintendo because it's the last console that gives nostalgia to people.
Yep.
Let me tell you, I love the GameCube. I got two GameCubes. I got a gray one and I got a purple one.
Really?
And let me tell you something. Yes, I got two of them. And I'm going to tell you something. Those things, I'm going to tell you something. When a couple of years ago, I went back to playing my GameCube. I just wanted to play a couple things on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I forgot to turn the shit off. And I went away for the weekend.
Uh-oh. That's not good.
It was fine because the box was so cool as hell when I came home. Ain't
Damn.
nothing wrong with it. I accidentally dropped my GameCubes. You can
Oh, no.
drop the shit at it. Ain't nothing happened to him.
Really?
It's a motherfucker.
Oh
Drop.
my God.
No, you could drop it it was all by accident.
I'm not testing out that
I
thing
even
if I get another game.
I'm telling you, I got it. I mean, I put up some of my collection. I got to put up the rest of mine because I got controllers, all the old controllers. I got all that shit. It's just like people say, well, when I played the GameCube, I had to buy all new controllers. I got all my original controllers.
Oh, nice.
I never had to buy a new controller. I've never broke a controller. You guys are just mashing those buttons so bad that you're killing your goddamn system.
Yep.
Well, mine wasn't from
Stay off
pressing
those
the
fighting
button. Mine
games,
was
man.
from throwing mine against the wall or throwing
my.
them against the floor. And
Seven.
Let them
Why
bounce
were you
like
throwing your
bouncy balls.
why were you throwing your controllers? Why were you throwing your controllers?
Call of Duty was pissing them off. That's why.
Oh, I don't play that shit. I'll play it to review it. That's about.
I remember that video.
You know why I think he threw the controller? Because he realized that I play better guitar than he does,
Oh shit!
and I got more games than he does.
Oh.
No, I think the
Ooh.
times that I've thrown controllers was like, when I was beating Ninja Gaiden on the original NES. Or
one day-
it took me a year to beat that game, and there was that was many nights of me tossing the controller in anger until I memorized that game and I was able to beat it. Now because it was just trial and error, I'd get a little bit
But you know
farther,
what?
a little bit farther, a little bit farther.
Can be very fucking hard.
Yeah, Ninja Gaiden was
But I
really
love the game. I love Ninja Gaiden, but it can be very fucking hard. See, now that's something Xbox can really do. Bring
Yes.
out a real good new Ninja Gaiden on the system.
Right.
Do
Why
they
not?
still own it, or because I mean, remember it came out?
I thought it. I'm
Yeah,
not
Koei
sure.
Tecmo.
Don't quote me. Everybody, I'm saying it right now. Don't quote me. I don't really know, but I think they could still get it if they go and do what they need to do. Don't quote me.
Well, if
Go ahead.
they toss money at Koei Tecmo, then sure. I mean, Koei Tecmo is constantly dropping references to Ninja Gaiden in a lot of their games anyway, and I mean, it's not
Yeah.
it's not like they care whether or not that Itagaki is around because I don't think he came along with the when Ninja Gaiden transferred from 2D to 3D, and
Right.
gameplay wise, there's not a whole lot similar between the old Ninja Gaiden and the ones that started on Xbox. But I mean, what's he been up to lately? Devil's Turd on the Wii U.
You know what though? To be honest with you, if they do rehash Ninja Gaiden, they have to make a whole new system. Like not like make it the same, but just call it Ninja Gaiden. Don't make it Ninja Gaiden 4 because that Ninja Gaiden 3 game was fucking horrible. Don't
Well, I mean,
call it.
with all the retro fascination that's been going on, like the new Double Dragon and
Mhm.
whatnot, the Sonic Mania. All these games that they're new games, but they're built to play and look like the original retro titles. It wouldn't surprise me to see a retro style, Ninja Gaiden 4 or whatever.
Right.
And you know what else would be good? And I'm not gonna lie, because I'm a Devil May Cry person.
Great franchise.
Yeah,
Oh, a lot of great
bring
games.
that fucking Devil May Cry back. Bring something better and whatever.
Yep.
If you're gonna talk about bringing something new but yet
Was Devil
retro,
May Cry always like on PlayStation, or was it ever on Nintendo?
No, it started. It was born on
Started on
PlayStation,
PS2.
That's what I was thinking.
and then it became multi-plat during the PS3.
It began life as a spin-off of Resident Evil, but it ended up just becoming its own thing.
So why did
Yeah.
they make that stupid ass remake of Devil May Cry then? Like that,
The-
not the 4, no, the DMC, the one that
Yeah,
came
the
out.
DMC.
Well, that a lot of that just sprang out of that period where Capcom was
They didn't know what to
hiring
do.
a bunch of third-party developers to reboot some of their shit. That's why you ended up with, a shit-ass Bionic Commando reboot, where the guy's dead wife was his arm and all that shit. And
Yeah, man.
there was a lot of games that Capcom invested money in to have these third-party developers take over for them and try to westernize their games and all that. And of course, it ended up being the death of that studio grin. But
I mean, here's the thing:
all
Microsoft.
right, what about what? Here's another one.
Hmm?
It just came in my head. ActRaiser.
What is that? Never heard of it.
an ActRaiser 3 would be good, but only if they brought back the city building, because the second
Exactly,
game
but that's what I'm saying.
the
If
second
they
game
really-
didn't have it. The second game
but
sucked
if they
ass.
if they brought back some good shit, that would be something else that could possibly make some money.
Well,
Yep.
that's also that would be a main reason for me to buy Switch, is if they really just delved into the nostalgia of some of these old Nintendo games and said, hey, you know what, we're gonna
Okay.
we're gonna partner with some of these old companies that used to love us, and we're gonna just have them spend some money on some lower budget reboots of these 8 and 16-bit titles, and they'll be able to save a lot of money because they're still going to be 8 and 16-bit in style, so it's not going to cost them as much in dev. And we charge $5 a piece for them, and we'll make out like gangbusters.
Yeah, but Seven, what they got to do is, they got to fix that hardware.
Yes, they do.
Why won't Nintendo make a console that's just as powerful as PS4 and Xbox One? I don't
They
get
can't compete.
Because the last time they tried to do that with the GameCube, it tanked. So they gave up on trying to compete with the other two. And
But that doesn't make any sense,
you know what?
though. I mean, like,
It
was
doesn't.
so the
I
game
agree with you. It
powerful?
doesn't, because the GameCube was a very powerful console.
It was?
Wait.
Yeah, it was more powerful.
Whoa. For its time.
It was.
it wasn't as
For
powerful as
time.
the Xbox, but it was more powerful than the PS2.
What?
Was
You know what? I
powerful.
actually believe that because like when I was young, some of the WWE wrestling games look so much better on the GameCube than they did on PS2. Just saying. No, I'm done.
They
Sorry, I
got
was
games on that GameCube. I bet you don't even know about that. I will blow you out the water.
Please tell me something, please, because I need to know.
I'm gonna tell you
No, the
something.
GameCube was a good console.
No, I'm gonna tell you something. GameCube had games, and for their time, their explosions, their blowing up of buildings when you did shit was for their time. But what Nintendo did is they backed because I don't know why it didn't sell as well. I used to go to GameStop when I was, years ago, and I used to get games. They'd be like, "Why are you buying GameCube game? I ain't doing this." Mind you, I had my other consoles too. Okay,
Right.
but this particular GameStop where I lived used to fuck with me all the time. And you know what? I said to the guy one time, I said, "Just ring me up and shut the fuck up, because you don't know what gaming's about."
Yeah.
No, what I don't like is people working gaming stores, and go with what is popular for the people that come in, and then you jump on that bandwagon. No,
Those people
be true to yourself. Be true to yourself and be true to gaming. If you love a particular console, okay, or consoles, because I'm multi-console owner, ain't nobody ever gonna get me to knock that GameCube. It was good for its time. Was it the best? No, but I can tell you right now, I could drop that bitch on the floor right now. I could slam it on the fucking floor and it'll still work.
But how was it? You know what? How did they make it so powerful in that very small little console? Because I kind of had always when I was a kid, I had theories of say, why is this GameCube graphics like? I always had a theory growing up. Said, you know what? When I play, and that was just that wasn't even just in WWE. That was in other games too. I used to say, like, wait a minute. When I play SmackDown versus Raw, why do these games don't look as good? But when I play WWE games on GameCube, the wrestlers look more like wrestlers. They don't look faded and pixelated, and they just look more realistic as wrestlers. You know what I'm saying? And when I go back on PS2, I can see the difference. So maybe you're right. Like I'm sure you're right now. That actually brings up more of my theory, like I actually had when I was younger. That GameCube had to have some kind of better power than the PS2. It's just very hard to believe.
I mean, it came out a year later.
They also had a better build.
Yeah.
Because that build, I'm telling you, you don't know how many times I moved in a short time. I moved quite a bit until I finally got settled. Okay. And you know how many times I dropped my GameCube or bumped it or did whatever. I left it on over a weekend, like 3 or 4 days. That thing never got hot. Why? They need to go back to that shit where they built a box that can withstand, okay, by accidentally dropping it or bumping it, that don't overheat. Go back to that shit.
But here's the
consoles need to do that.
But here's the thing here, though. If Nintendo was afraid to make another powerful console, just like, you know what, I'm going back as a joke, man. Just because you fucked up once, dude, go back and try again.
Well, see, here's the thing.
That's the stupidest thing I ever heard.
No, actually, when you look at it, Nintendo's been on the down. Believe it or not, Nintendo, in terms of market share and sales, they actually been on the downslope going back to the Nintendo. So the original NES sold around upper 50s, almost 60 million. Mm-hmm. But then the Super NES went around lower 50s to 40. And then 64 went in the 30s. GameCube went in the 20s. So they were actually downsloping.
I think it's because, you know what, though? When PlayStation came out, that's what killed Nintendo. I think that's what killed them. Because I'm going to tell you something.
Well, the PlayStation didn't kill them. They killed themselves.
Oh, they did?
Policies. This is one thing. I remember I was reading an article because like after 20 years, developers in the past, they now they tell the truth, or they bring up, the stuff in the past because it's been so long. Well, all the developers that made Final Fantasy VII, that was supposed to be an N64 exclusive. Square Enix was developing the game, and at the same time, they considered themselves a second party to Nintendo. So they knew what was going on with N64, and they were actually pre-testing it. But they told Nintendo, hey, this game is not going to fit on your console. You need to go CD. Well, Nintendo's reply to them was, listen, this is how the console is. You're just going to have to accept it. And Square Enix is like, all right, I guess we're just going to put our game to Sony. And that was Nintendo's attitude. Nintendo's attitude's been like that with almost every third-party developer. They don't try to cater to third-party developers. They see themselves as, no, you do what we want you to do, or you could just go somewhere else and deal, and not
And
be
that
part of
started
our.
all the way back on the NES with their
So
third-party licensing.
So
Yeah.
they've been so they had their head stuck up.
It's
their ass
it's
for a long time,
self-inflicted.
huh?
What Nintendo went through is self-inflicted, 100%.
I mean,
Completely
back then on the NES, these other developers, they didn't even manufacture their own carts. They provided the game, and then Nintendo, they were the ones that were handling actually manufacturing these carts and shipping them out. And it's like, if you don't guarantee us that this is the only system this game's going to release on in the States, if you try to take it somewhere else, we're just not going to manufacture the cartridge for you, and you're going to lose a shit ton of money. So
Yeah.
I mean, basically Nintendo had a monopoly. That was
on the
reason.
NES. They did that on the
Right. Not so much on the Super Nintendo. Well, they tried to have it on the Super
sued.
Nintendo,
They got
and
sued.
these part of it was these companies got smart and just started making versions
Genesis.
that were different enough to where they could get away with it, like Turtles 4 versus Hyperstone Heist and shit like that.
Yeah.
But they had when at the NES at the time, the Sega Master System, a lot of the games that Nintendo had here, the Sega Master System did have them. They just didn't have them in the US.
Yeah.
You could get them in Japan or you could get them in Europe, but over in the US they couldn't get around Nintendo's licensing, and so that's what killed the Sega Master System here in the States. But like over in Europe, Sega Master System dominated over the NES.
Yeah.
I mean, just straight whipped its ass. And so you go to a retro convention over there, and the majority of what you see is Master System cards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I see why.
See, that's why.
I don't-
That's why,
I don't
that's
know.
why
But
I like
the-
listening to Seventh, because Seventh,
Knows, yeah.
he actually knows his shit. He knows
But,
his shit. I ain't boosting him for no other reason but because he's actually taught me shit that
Well,
was
he has
before
to.
me. No, before me and before I actually knew it, things that my brothers didn't teach me because they weren't that deep like he is into certain shit. I mean, all their families still play, but he gives me a little extra knowledge about the old retro stuff that my brothers taught me about, but he gives me more knowledge. That's why I like listening to him. I fuck with him all the time, but I like listening to him.
You know what I learned from? You know what, in this podcast, I learned from everybody. I learned from Porter Rock. I learned from Seventh. I learned from Nancy. I learned from all you guys though, because like I said, I never really too much care for Nintendo, but some of the stuff you guys say about Nintendo kind of makes me say, you know what, maybe I probably looked at Nintendo the wrong way. Because I just thought that Nintendo just supported only baby games and shit like for fucking Mario and Donkey Kong, and
They had board games on fucking on the GameCube.
Yeah, I know they did because I owned the GameCube, so that's something I didn't know. But see, the only reason why I bought one was because of Resident Evil 4. Then I bought a couple of wrestling games.
That too.
Yeah, and I played a couple of wrestling games that was exclusive to GameCube at one point, and I played a Yu-Gi-Oh game too that I actually owned, which that was really horrible. And and that was about it.
All right, wait. You wanted one game on GameCube that was fun to play. I played it with friends. If you like wrestling, Ultimate Muscle on the GameCube.
Yeah, you could get that on the PS2 too.
But that game was crazy. Oh, I didn't know you could get on the PS2. I didn't pay attention to that.
Yep. It was based on the American version of the, what is it called, the Kikuman series out of Japan. The cartoon was on the Saturday morning Fox
That's why I
box.
listened to 7. Because I didn't know it was on the PlayStation 2.
Do you remember? Don't you
Get on
remember? Don't you remember those little flesh-colored action figures? They're about an inch tall. They look like erasers back in the '80s. They were called Muscle Men.
Yeah. What about it?
It's the same series. It's the same series. It's just that this was like the newest version of it, and they had a video game based on it. There was a muscle video game for the NES.
Hmm.
And it's a wrestling game, and it's not very good, but it's it's on there, and so that's a series that's been around for years and years and years. And it was a popular manga and it was a popular anime, and then in the late '90s, early 2000s, the newest version of it was like the new Kinnikuman, the new Legacy, or I can't remember the name of it, but it came over from Japan, and Fox brought it over and gave it this really hilarious English dub, and they renamed it Ultimate
Excuse you.
Muscle.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
that's how the video game came. But back when I was a kid, Muscle was mainly these little inch tall flesh colored action figures that you could buy in packs, and
See, I didn't know that.
there was like hundreds of them. And later on, they had competition. There was these little figures called Battle Beasts, and those were actually full colored and a little bit more articulated. Where these things were completely flesh colored, and they had no articulation. They were just kind of rubbery. But every kid that I knew had a whole pocket full of these things, and it was an '80s thing. And like I say, you can play Muscle on the NES, but it's not going to be like the one you played on the GameCube. Trust me.
But see, that's the thing. I didn't know it was. See, now this is why I like the people I got on my podcast, because we come from different eras. Some older, some younger, some in between, some with me, some not with me. And you bring up stuff that you played on one type of console, and then you find out it was other places before that. Seventh, I'm going to give you props because I never knew it was on PlayStation 2. I never knew it was in those other places prior to that. I didn't know. And you just gave me knowledge, and maybe other people that didn't know about that. You just taught us something that we didn't know about.
Yeah.
And that's what I appreciate about you, because you actually, Puerto Rock, everybody, I should just say you too. Everybody on here brings a little bit of something to the table, and that's why I like the people I have on podcast, because we can agree to disagree, and we can talk shit, and it's knowledge, gaining knowledge.
Yep.
That's what I love about the people I have here.
And majority of the stuff we even speak, we always agree at the end.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. With that being said, you guys don't even know. I didn't realize we went a little over 2 hours. I don't do 2-hour podcasts. We had a good night tonight.
Hit that like button. Hit that like button.
There you go. We're gonna end it for tonight. We're gonna do our outros, okay? But before we do outros, I'm gonna tell everybody in here, please, guys, channels, besides hitting a like button for me, if you dislike the video for whatever reason, it's okay if you hit that dislike button, but tell me why you dislike the video, and we'll do something better. If you're not understanding what we're saying, I'll fix it for you. We'll fix it for you. It's okay to hit the dislike button. I ain't saying it. I'm saying tell us why you dislike it, so we know what maybe you didn't understand, or give us a reason why you disagreed with us, or whatever. Please do that, so we can do the best podcast ever, so I can bring the facts that you want, the information you want, with me and the members and the people that I got. That's what we want to know. You could dislike it. It's okay. Just tell us why. With that being said, please check out everybody's channel, okay? We're going to start with the outros. I'm going to start out with our special guest tonight.
All right.
Jordan Dizzle.
Go
for it. Tell everybody about you and where they can find you.
Okay. You can find me on my first channel, Jordan Dizzle. All you gotta do is type in capital JORDAN and capital DIZZLE. Jordan Dizzle, and I do a lot of content. I do a lot of content on pickups, rants, shoutouts, gaming. I do all kinds of stuff. You know, comedy. I mean, I got full package. I'm a jack of all trades right now. You know, but if you want to,
Yeah, you are.
if you want to check me out, you know, I have interesting content. But you know, if you don't like my content, well, it's all right. You know, can't please everybody. You know, but
Right.
But if you want to see, but one thing I'm going to say, as he did a shout out,
right.
the people in this panel to give you other content, you want to hear something, sub them, leave them a message and say, can you do this? We like this stuff. We like that stuff. Tell us what you like, and I'll guarantee the panel members will do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Next up, we got Donkey Fucker Demetrius.
Oh my
Yeah,
god, I
Chuck.
knew I knew I was gonna be next. I was like, oh my god, watch. Something with a donkey fuck and well, hey, how you doing, everybody? This is the Lords of Eclipse. We're signing out this amazing, great podcast. I had a blast. I had so much fun. I had a really good fun talking about Nintendo for the first time in my life. I actually enjoyed talking about Nintendo. Never enjoyed talking about Nintendo, but I actually had fun. And I'm gonna tell my girlfriend I had fun talking about Nintendo. She's like, "What?" But anyways,
You're gonna take your temperature.
right? Exactly. But yes, you guys can check me out at Lords of Eclipse. I normally do videos of. I do a lot of Call of Duty videos, and if you guys are actually still interested in Call of Duty, check out my channel. I do a lot of tricks and tips over there, how to be a better COD player, and stuff like that. I'm gonna start doing Battlefield as well. I really like Battlefield, and I'm gonna do some more Resident Evil walkthroughs and everything like that. So please check out my channel.
Donkey fucker.
And leading into that,
wait a
next we got my redneck buddy, 7th level.
Good evening, friends and neighbors. I am the 7th level, and I like to eat my rice with lots of cow. Nancy's not going to get that, but fans of the Ultimate Muscle anime will.
Oh.
Put it this way.
Anyway, you can find my
Do me a
channel.
favor.
Just search
Tell
for
her
the
to find
7th
you.
level. Just search for the 7th level. You'll find me. I'm a little bit everywhere, and I've got
Every
I've got
Saturday
the
night.
7th cast tomorrow night, which will not be 8 hours. It will not be, and I don't have any pre-planned topics or anything like that. I just turn on my mic, and I start answering questions. So it's just a nonstop, unpredictable QA that goes on until I get tired and turn it off.
Yeah, so be there.
Plus, I do videos too.
Yes, he does. But when it comes to 7th, you guys got to join him on Saturday night, and you got to ask him questions because he's got a lot of knowledge about gaming. You could joke with him too as well, but the gaming, he knows what he's talking about. Talk about any game, and if he's not familiar, he'll tell you, listen, I don't play that. I don't like it. He'll tell you flat out.
Still trying to get that 7 to play Call of Duty.
When you go there, you got to hit that button, the $sign button on the bottom, by the way. But anyway, also check out my video because I'm going to prove that it's going to come up tonight. I'm going to put up tonight. And we'll talk about it tomorrow, 7th, but I'm going to show that I'm a better guitarist than you are. All right?
Okay.
Anyway, and I own more games than you do, and you know that. But anyway, you won't say that. And next we got one of the first members of the podcast, Mr. Puerto Rock.
I just love that sound.
I like
I
Better than mine.
Anyway, what's up, everybody? It was great to be here. I'm glad I was able to make it. My busy schedule. If everybody don't know, I won't be hosting my podcast for a couple of more weeks. Just doing stuff for my job and stuff. So I have this schedule, but I'm glad I was able to make it today. It was a great podcast today. 7th level, of course, dropping that knowledge. It's refreshing to hear an actual gamer that knows what's going on without no ulterior motives and shit. So it's pretty refreshing. So thanks, 7 Level, for being here, and then everybody else. It was great being with you guys.
Thank you for that. And listen, I want to thank all the members of the podcast. Thank you very much for taking time out of your busy schedule to be here. Thank you for all your gaming knowledge. And also, I want to thank everybody that was watching us and everybody that's going to be watching this video later on because they were busy. I will say, Rambo, I'm sorry you couldn't make it.
Yeah.
My heart goes out. My heart goes out to your wife and her loss. Okay, I went through one recently last week. My heart goes out to her. I'm sorry you guys couldn't make it. God bless you both. And with that being said, you going to these people on my panel tonight. And you know why? Because the princess said so. And because you all love me. I'm out of here. Later, everybody.
Peace.
Donkey fucker out.
Donkey fuck.